We're going to talk to Frank Caliendo coming up here in a little bit. He's coming to town. Always great to talk to one of the great comedians, impressionists of our time. Frank Caliendo, friend of the program, will join us in the 2 o'clock hour. We'll play the feud in the 3. Michael Darcy filling in for Todd Lebo, who is on assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we'll call it. He was assigned to do something, and he is doing it.
Yeah, that actually is true.
Or the consequences would be dire.
Yes, they would.
Tim Grunhard coming up in the 4 o'clock hour to talk some Chiefs and NFL football, maybe some college football as well.
Maybe he's here at 3. He has a tendency to occasionally show up a little early.
What time will Tim Grunhard arrive today, Kyle?
I texted him 4 p.m. Central tomorrow, Grunny. He said, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Seth Kaiser in the 5 o'clock hour talking Chiefs draft picks. So
he's written some really good stuff, a lot of film breakdown. So if you want to know more about who the Chiefs got, he's your guy.
Absolutely.
Been looking forward to this for a couple days now.
Yes, we have. So, and don't forget, we're going to be out and about. We've got a world tour coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, we're going to be at Family Leisure at K10 and Ridgeview as the Sundance Spa sale is coming to an end this weekend. So now is the time. We'll be there. One of my favorite places on earth. I am so thrilled to be going there.
Same.
Pool tables, poker tables, patio furniture, hot tubs, spas, gorilla basketball goals.
I live in an apartment complex.
Grills.
I can't really get much there, but I still love the deals. I know friends who are, and I go, hey, they've got that thing you were looking for here. Good price. Come get it.
If you got pools, all the toys and everything you need, the chemicals, it is just trampolines, massage chairs, arcade games, billiards, shuffleboard, bars, fire pits. I'm just trying to make my way around the store and think where I'm at as I'm coming around.
And anything you need for any of those things you just said.
Yeah, and they're going to have a big blowout sale. So this has been a little cooler the last couple of days, but the hot weather is coming, and you will enjoy it. Beautiful weather to be out in the patio. We've been outside, eating outside again. Love it, getting outside. Got to have a place to sit. We got a wonderful table and chairs that we use. Got it at Family Leisure, locally owned and operated for more than a quarter century. We'll see you over there tomorrow. Friday, our Corona program World Cinco de Mayo World Tour of Kansas City begins.
Yep.
We'll be at Rancho Grande up by the National.
Which means the tacos.
Oh, God, yes. Then Monday, because, one Rancho Grande is not enough, we'll be at the Rancho Grande in Blue Springs.
Which means more tacos.
And
other things.
And then Tuesday, we'll be at the Barrio in Brookside. So quite a lineup. And then we'll wrap it all up with a little culture, a little education, because on next Thursday, we'll be at the Linda Hall Library for the big Soccer in the Age of Analytics talk. These have been fantastic. People loved them. We've done football. We've done baseball. They're doing soccer in honor of the World Cup coming right here to Kansas City. If you register before May 4th, you're automatically registered to win a VIP experience, which I've been fortunate enough to be at. It's great. Cocktails, wonderful little, hors d'oeuvres.
Yes, the food there's quite good.
You get preferred seating and a pre-lecture reception. Like I said, with the free apps and drinks, meet and greet, mingle with the panelists. They're down there as well.
If you kind of have a rough understanding of the game, you want to enjoy the World Cup more when it's here, this would be a great spot. You'll learn some of the basics, some things you didn't know about it, and you'll learn some deep stuff. Some stuff you'll impress your friends when you're watching the game and go, by the way, I was at the Linda Hall Library and I heard whatever.
Yes.
Your friends will go, damn, you know a lot about soccer.
Whether you're a lifelong soccer fan or simply curious about what analytics does in modern sports, you will enjoy this talk. Unique insights into data, soccer, the intersection of data and soccer, the decision-making, the athletic performance, the perfect way to deepen your understanding and appreciate the game. Get your tickets now by going to lindahall.org. That's lindahall.org. Again, doesn't cost anything, but once they've sold out, they're sold out. So you do need a ticket, but this is one of the great educational libraries here in Kansas City. It's an engineering and technology library. The grounds outside are beautiful. Just for all the different trees and flowers, and that's part of what it is as well, are the different species of trees and plants and birds and
very cool.
everything that's around there. It's just a really great place in Kansas City. If you've never been there, I would go just to go and see it, just to take the tour and walk around the library. And I'm going to tell you, like, the place, I don't know where they're going to do it this year, but in the past when they've done the VIP experience, it's in the area where you can see, I'm just going to say hermetically sealed. The
Something
sealed
like that, yeah.
Scrolls.
Not exposed to the
Yeah.
elements.
Literally scrolls and
Yes.
ancient texts from
Unbelievable.
well over 1,000 years ago, like some of the most important mathematic, engineering, tech documents and books and writings are there. So if you have not been to the Linda Hall Library, you know, I had a stretch where I was not working for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be working. It was actually maybe 3.5 of the best months of my life. Knew I had a job, but couldn't go to work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's called a non-compete,
Yes,
folks, and it was marvelous. And I did things like go to see the TWA Museum.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm going to go places that I would never get to go. And my wife-to-be at the time had, you know, some time off, and so we went to all these little nooks and crannies in Kansas City. If you haven't been to the Linda Hall Library,
Yeah,
if
very
you
cool.
are wanting that kind of experience, you will love it. So come to this talk, check out the library, come early, and if you win, you could be hobnobbing. And I'm just gonna tell you that the people that sponsor the Linda Hall Library are very generous. Some of the people you would know, but they're quite generous, and you will be hobnobbing with Kansas City's elite.
One of the smartest people who ever lived was a man named Bertrand Russell, and he once said about
Says you.
says most people.
Okay, I don't know who he is.
He's brilliant English. He's been gone for quite a while, but he said, talking about books, he says there are 2 reasons to read a book. The first is to enjoy it and to learn. The second is so you can boast about it. Those are the 2 reasons to go to the Linda Hall
I
Library
agree.
and go to this event, so you can learn something and so you can tell your friends, hey, guess where I was.
I agree. I can't wait to get over there. The people are great too. Everybody that
Yep.
works there, they're such nice people, and it's a real treasure here in Kansas City. So if you haven't been there, I'd encourage you to go. If you're any kind of soccer fan, or you just want to have an idea of what's going on, like, okay, this World Cup thing's big. I bought tickets, or I'm going to buy tickets, or I'm going to be going. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
It'd be a great place to go. Right? You'll have the finer
Not only-
points. You
not
go
only
from
what's going-
novice to expert in
Yes.
one talk.
Not only what's going on, but why it's going on.
That's
which
right.
I think is anything you can add into your knowledge of a sport just makes it the next game you watch that much more enjoyable.
All right, 913-810-810. Let's start where? Where do we want to begin? Let's begin with some Kansas City Royals baseball since they played last night.
They're on fire.
They are officially in the midst of their first winning streak.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Because if you are a listener to the program, you know it's not a streak until you get to 4.
Right.
1 win.
Is a win.
It's not a win game. It's not a 1-game win streak. It's a win. 2 games, not a streak, back to back. 3 games, it's a spurt, but it's not a streak.
Nope.
It's just like you don't go on a 4-3 run in basketball.
Correct.
Okay, there are minimums. The minimum
There are
for a win streak is
requirements.
4. Congratulations to the Royals for having their first win streak of the year, and they find themselves now just 2.5 games out of first place. And you had a pretty good question. At first, I was kind of like, but the more we chewed on it, I really like it. Are they playing like they're? The A's are better than the Angels, so the caliber of opponent stepped up here in this last game. The A's were in first place, 2 games above 500. So the caliber of opponent was better, but are they playing better? Or is this just baseball happening? Like, were they playing about the same and they just kept losing a lot of their games by 1 run? And now they're playing the same and they're just winning them, which is okay. That's not a negative. I want to be clear about that. It just means that, there's it's just kind of baseball happening.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to be a 500-ish team because they're going to win some of those, they're going to lose some of those, and they lost too many early, now they're going to win too many later, and this is just going to all even out. Or, as we've said, which I talked a lot yesterday, you and I and David Lesky in the 5 o'clock hour. If you missed it, it's on the podcast at 810whb.com and, of course, on that wonderful 810 app. Have they turned the corner? You're not ready to say it. I said, well, and I like your point that you got to look back at it and say, yeah, that's when it was.
Mm-hmm.
But, yesterday was not free of boobery.
Not at all.
Had an out on the base paths, popped up 2 bunts, got away with one that ended up being a single, which was clearly bunting for a base hit because he was the first guy up, right? That was Isbell the lead off, or was it Isbell trying to move somebody over?
I think it was. Oh, no, yeah, it was. He was the first.
He was the first guy up.
Yeah.
Followed up by Michael Garcia popping up a bunt, and that one being caught for an out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really base running, but it is not handling the bat, which I'll come back to that. And then we saw Isaac Collins take one off the fingers of the glove, which to me, it was a weird hit. I will defend him that this was not just an easy routine play because it was a broken bat, and the swing made it look like this was going to be a bomb. So if he took a step back, and because you don't see the camera on him until he's already coming in, if he took a step back before coming in and went, uh-oh, because the swing, and it was a loud crack of the bat, which was actually the bat breaking, I could see where it would deke you, but then he comes in and he gets to where the ball hits the fingers of the glove about halfway down. But he just didn't get it in the mid. Again, I want to point out, no, I would not make that play. So save the stupidness right there. We all get that. Most of us wouldn't have made that play. We're not big leaguers. I don't know which A's ass was being kissed by that scorekeeper, but because that's an error.
Yeah.
Like if you get to the ball and it hits you, this wasn't a snow cone where
No.
he just couldn't quite reach it.
And you're coming in on a ball. When it hits high on your glove when you're coming in, you should have been there. You're going back, you just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
He got there. He got further than he needed to get it because the ball's sinking. If it hits off that part of your glove, that's yours to get.
I want to be clear. I don't think it was an easy ball. It may have been moving kind of funny because of the bat breaking and everything. Again, not an easy play, but definitely an error.
You're a major league outfielder.
Yes.
You make that catch.
I mean, come on, for God's sake.
If you're playing slow pitch and that ball comes in and hits out, you're like, dude, come on.
But with that, I mean, if you want to spin this so there's the point of view, like, they're not really playing any better. Well, I just gave you the ways that they're not playing better. Okay? Chris Bubich walked too many guys. Chris Bubich used to have pinpoint control the last couple of years. That has eluded him here of late. He is striking guys out at a pretty good clip, but that eluded him. So a little too many walks out of him. So I'll give you the reasons. If your answer is they're not playing better, they're just kind of, the other teams aren't playing as good, and so they're getting results, I'd listen to that. I think the positive spin on it is they're still making mistakes, but now they're overcoming it. There's a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
We weren't seeing crooked numbers at all during the stretch of all the games that they were losing.
There are 2 things they are doing now that they weren't doing then.
Yeah. So I do think they're playing better. I do think that they have turned the corner. We're going to see over the next 5 games on this road trip and then 7 big games when they come home against the Tigers and Guardians. I feel like they've turned the corner. I feel like there's a confidence about the team. I think that every out in the lineup right now is a tough one. Now, Vinny Pasquantino leaving the game is a big concern. Be interesting to see the lineup when it comes out today, what that's going to look like. So that could derail.
Yeah. Apparently that's something he's been dealing with for a while.
Yeah, there's a brace
day to day
clubhouse.
It's kind of he calls it kind of a fancy heating pad to keep the back loose. And he says it's day to day, and today it wasn't feeling good. After that happened, he says basically every at bat it's a little bit of something. So he's not quite 100%.
Yeah, and big guys and bad backs are not a good combination. So I just as soon, see them sit him down and put Caglione over at first base, and let's roll on. And let's make do elsewhere, and let's get him healthy, because I don't think you want him. I don't think you want this getting any worse. But I do want to point out something. Why is Michael Garcia bunting in the which inning was it?
It was the 10th.
It was the Bobby Witt 3-run homer.
Yeah, it was right. It was right after Isbell got on with the bunt.
Can someone help me out? First and second. You said somebody tweeted at you. Well, why are they playing for 1 run?
For 1 run, and I said, well. They probably weren't just playing for 1 run because they had a runner at first as well. So I guess the idea was get 2 men in scoring position for Bobby Witt Jr. But there's a hole in that.
Well, the hole in that is you're not going to pitch to Bobby Witt Jr.
That's the hole, yes.
Do you really think that why would you pitch to – because, again, Vinny Pasquantino's – Michael Massey's in the on-deck circle. Are you going to pitch to Bobby Witt?
No.
Now I have to look, the 3-batter minimum, was it a new pitcher? But even more so, I'm trying to remember who he hit it off a. He hit it off a right-hander, I'm pretty sure, because he went a little bit oppo.
Yeah, Witt would have been his third hitter. He didn't. He came in to start the inning.
Okay, so they could have gone to anybody they
Isabel
wanted.
Garcia
They could have gone to anybody they wanted. So my assumption is that and I don't think anybody asked. I was doing a bunch of things during postgame, and so I didn't pay attention. I apologize if somebody did, but I don't think anybody asked, why is Maikel Garcia bunting there? I mean, I don't get it. Why are you going to take the bat out of Bobby Witt Jr.'s hands and hand it to Michael Massey? The best thing that could have happened, in fact, Ryan might even have said something to that effect, like, well, now Bobby gets a chance. We looked it up. Maikel Garcia 0 for 1 in his career against that pitcher with a strikeout. No sample size. One. Is this I'm assuming Maikel Garcia did this on his own. Or someone's got to explain to me what the hell the logic was here.
I actually heard the full
play-by-play
to Cutrero last night.
And it's not addressed?
No one asked him if he was bunting on his own. They asked about the base running issues and things of that nature, but he was not asked about, at least in the clip, the 4.5 minutes it was sent to me by the Royals. He was not asked, was Garcia bunting on his own?
I'm baffled by that. But Bobby Witt is heating up, and it ends up not mattering. Let me also point out that Matt Strahm, we talk about the Collins misplay. The Collins misplay put a leadoff man on first, which scores roughly 50% of the time over the history of Major League Baseball. That's followed up by another single. He's got first and third. No, he had one out. That came after one out. He's got first and third and one out, and he's in a jam. Now, he's pitching with a tie game at 1-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's tie game. So he can't. He's got no margin for error.
Yeah. If he gives up the run, the Royals are 3 outs away from a loss.
And so that was a giant inning. And listen, as I watch Matt Strahm, I do think there's an element of, if the Royals are in Game 7 of an ALCS in New York, Matt Strahm's pitching the 6th. I think they're going to have to. I think whether it's Daniel Lynch continues his amazing run, which we can talk about, Luinder Avila comes up and assumes a spot in the rotation, or a spot towards the back of the bullpen that he maximizes his abilities. I like Strahm, and I loved his performance last night because he got 4 outs to get the 1 inning. And he ends up with first and third and gets a strikeout, and then a fly out to left, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A strikeout, a walk.
Yeah, a walk that loads the bases.
He pitching around Hernandez.
Which is an opposite hand, and then he
he gets McNeil to fly out to left.
So
in the inning.
I mean,
so he got 4 outs.
So everything didn't go their way, yet they still found a way to win.
Yeah.
And by the way, Nick Mears closed it out.
Yeah.
That's not ideal either.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 in the 9th inning to keep it there, and then Urseg did come in the 10th, but Mears, who had some pockets of struggle.
But Mears that's not who you're usually thinking we want late inning situation.
Nope.
And Mears got it. Yeah, I say close it out. I'm sorry.
Facing the top of the order too.
Yeah.
He was facing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Wilson, Langoliers, and Kurtz, and strikeout, fly ball, strikeout. He strikes out Nick Kurtz looking with a tie game. That's a big out. And the two things that make me think it is something that they're playing better at is because you look at it and say, well, they're just winning the kind of games they weren't winning before. Well, before, when it was 2-1, we kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday. When it was 2-0, the game was over. Well, now they hit the ball over the fence. Why did they win Sunday? Because they had a 2-run home run in the 9th and they had a 3-run home run in the 10th. Why'd they win last night? Salvi hit one deep when they were down 1-0, and Bobby Witt Jr. picked up a bad bunt with a 3-run bomb. They weren't doing that earlier in the year. How many games of those games when they lost those 4 straight by 1 run, how many of those would they have been able to win if they could hit the ball over the fence that week? A couple at least. So, and then you're talking about 14 and 15, and you're a half game out of first place, or about a game out of first place in the Central. So that's one thing. And the bullpen was fantastic again. 4 innings, nothing. Over the 4-game win streak, 16 total appearances, .63 earned run average, 1 earned run in 14 1/3. And they've been getting some guys on base, 9 hits and 9 walks, 1, 2, 5, 6 whip, but they're not scoring.
Yeah. I mean, the whip's not bad. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, my God. It doesn't fit the ERA.
Yeah.
The whip would tell you that the ERA probably shouldn't be quite that tighty.
Yeah.
But
when you
it's
open
not
the-
awful.
No, but if your closer had a 1.256 whip, you're not happy. But in a 4-day stretch, they open the gate 16 times for a reliever and 1.256. That's not bad
Yeah.
against some teams that can hit, and 1 earned run in 14 and a third.
Yeah, it's. I think they're playing better ball for
Yeah.
sure. So
And
We'll see-
Bob
we'll see
is-
if they can
is on
continue
one.
it.
Last 11 games /340, 385, 638, 1023.
yeah, it's been impressive to say the least. 913-3-810-810, the phone number 913-3-810-810. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Sean, you might want to give us a shout back. We're scheduled to be joined. We'll see. Frank, he's good to go. All right, we're going to talk to Frank Caliendo. He's going to be coming to town very soon. Great friend of the program joins us next here in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
Our program's going to be more important than any of you. Don't ever think that you're more important than this program.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Listen, I'll tell you some important people for me. That's been Applause Custom Sight and Sound. They've done a great job for me at 2 different houses, our old house and this house. In fact, they helped us sell our old house, just having everything turned on with true smart home technology, in-home theaters, music, being able to have the news on. Like one of the things we did when we sold our house was we basically turned it on so it'd feel like, okay, no matter what time of day, here's all the things you can do. Music playing in the living room and the dining room for when people walked in, had the news on upstairs in the bathroom while you're listening there, had the TVs on like it was game day downstairs. Applause Custom Sight and Sound can give you a true smart home, a true great home, a true fun home with everything you could possibly want, controlling your lighting, your music. How would you like to be able to press one button? That's right, pre-programmed. You press one button and you got whatever your playlist is on whatever streaming service you got, and it's playing everywhere in the house. Like you throw a party, it's on in the kitchen, everybody hangs out in the kitchen. It's on in the basement, it's on out on the patio, it's on everywhere. How about security and surveillance? That's what we added most recently with Applause Custom Sight and Sound. Listen, we built it right the first time because Applause builds it right the first time. That's going to probably cost you a little bit more money. I'm going to tell you, usually they're not the cheapest bid because there's some of those fly-by-night companies that have been around for about 6 months that'll quote you just a price to get you to come in the door. And what you end up finding out is, you want it to work, or, you want this, and the price goes up and up and up. Or it just flat out doesn't work, or it's jerry-rigged. Build it right the first time with Applause. Then when you go to add on and with technology and different things that you want, you usually do. It's super easy and super cost effective. Took us about a day to wire the whole house to have security where we can see all the way around the house. Get notified right there on my phone. It's all super easy because Applause Custom Sight and Sound makes it easy. The best when it comes to technology, the best when it comes to customer service, the best when it comes to craftsmanship too. Installing all this, if you got wires hanging everywhere, what's the point? It's all going to look beautiful with Applause Custom Sight and Sound. Find them online at applausetheater.com or call 913-498-1183. Tell them Petro sent you. Tell them you heard it right here on the program. It's 913-498-1183 on the web at applausetheater.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
In 1900 in Mazatlan, Mexico, 3 German brewers brewed the first Pacifico beer, an exceptionally drinkable Pilsner-style lager known today for its crisp, refreshing taste and light body. Popular along the West Coast and for those seeking a balanced, easy drinking beer. Pacifico pairs perfectly with a trip to the beach, a lake weekend, an outdoor get-together with friends, or just firing up the grill. Pacifico is perfect for any of your warm weather activities. Found in Baja, imported by
All right, welcome back. You're listening to the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, coming to Kansas City at the KC Funny Bone the 15th and 16th of May. One Frank Caliendo, I would say, greatest impressionist I've ever seen, one of the funniest guys you're going to ever see. He'll be there again May 15th and May 16th. You can get your tickets. FrankOnStage.com. Frank, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Top 10 voice guy, I think I am. Top 10.
Top 10?
In my region. In my regional. I'm local legend, regional regional champion.
Yeah.
All time though, is it John Biner, Rich Little, guys like that.
I think people know me. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm the best, but the sports niche has been the thing that set me apart from a lot of different people who do the impressions. So I think that's probably. I mean, there's guys like Jay Farrow, and there's some younger guys that are really, really good. That I wonder how good I would have been had I had YouTube growing up.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, to tie it into baseball, you guys have been talking some baseball, right? So
Yep.
Tony Gwynn was the only person to really watch video back in the day, right?
Right.
I mean, I remember watching him on the Baseball Bunch.
Yes.
And he talking about just videotape and then that type of deal. So now you don't have to. When I was at Mad TV, you had to ask for videotape. Somebody had to record something, send it to you, and then you put it in your VCR and play it back. And you might have one little clip. We had a research department. Now the research department's your phone.
Yeah.
You can just go to that and pull up anything you want. And I always bring it back to, there was a thing called Cyber Vision, which was a Rod Carew hitting it. You'd listen to music and the music, doom, 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 and you'd see Rod Carew's swing. So it tells you I wanted to be a baseball player and failed, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you did. Didn't you also play football in high school?
I played at my freshman year and got hit, but we went up to play the sophomores. I get hit from low and high at the same time and just destroyed my ACL. I have the Al Bundy kind of legendary status where I was going to be incredible. 14 and under AAU baseball, though, was we won in Urbandale, Iowa. We won the national championship, the Wisconsin All-Stars, and our 18 and under team had a pretty good player on it. It was the Wisconsin Dukes. They won the same time. My brother used to throw batting practice. They had a player named Craig Counsell on that team.
Yeah,
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
So you ever hear of him?
Yeah, He's the most highest paid manager in the history of the game. And did he get a World Series MVP? I know he was the engine that could with both the Diamondbacks and Marlins.
He has 2 World Series rings.
Yeah,
he got the game-winning hit, I think, against Cleveland in '97.
Was it the hit or the run score?
He scored the run. That's right. That's right. And he was on base for the other one.
When he was coming up, he went to Notre Dame, and his dad worked in the ticket office for the Brewers, and people were like, "This guy is nothing." He's all the minor leaguers are like, he can't throw that well. He doesn't. He had a kind of the weird stance at the time. It got weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
But they're like, he's not that fast. He's wasting his time working this hard, and he's the epitome of working hard. You had to have some tools, right? I myself, 0 tool player.
Well, I'll give you a better story than that. So my wife worked at a hospital when I met her, and she had a friend who very, very nice ladies. They're still friends to this day. And she was older than my wife at the time, and still is today. It's funny how that works. But she said, yeah, and my wife, they were chatting at lunch or something, and how's your daughter? What's going on? She's like, oh well, she's got a boyfriend she really likes. He's real nice, and it's great. Oh yeah, well, what does he do? Oh well, he's a minor league baseball player. Oh okay, good, yeah, that's great, yeah, and they go on about it, and. She goes, we don't think anything about it. And some of the gals are kind of like, oh, that's tough. No, only like 1% make it. I mean, that's a tough life. Are you going to be bouncing around? And boy, I hope Mrs. Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Worked out okay.
I'd take that.
Yeah, that worked out just fine.
So when you were playing, were you like imitating guys that you knew,
Well, I was behind
Were
the
you already
plate.
aping people?
So I caught for a lot of.
No.
I talked to batters and umpires.
I
was doing in living color things. I was like,
a couple questions. My name is Anton. I'm a victim of society, and that was a strike, Mr. Umpire.
I can't even imagine having to concentrate on a pitch with you just yammering on in different voices 2 feet away.
Just brutal. Let me show you something. If I grab the glove and I'm making it look like it's a strike, guess what? I'm framing it. Oh, righty then. Yeah.
Did you really? Like when you were a kid, were you already doing the voices? Were you already into that?
I worked at an indoor baseball softball place. I walked around as Robin Williams for. I was like, oh my gosh, who knew? It's time for 6 tokens for $5. You just hit the jackpot. Here we go. Yeah, it was all kinds of stuff. There was a little bit of Madden that had started back then. I might have been, but we were doing mostly Ted Knight. One of the guys I worked with was a minor league baseball player in the Dodgers organization. He used to play with the Vero Beach Dodgers and would come back, every year. And we would just be doing Ted Knight, like, Spalding, I want you on the golf course in 5 minutes. Chop, chop. He ended up being UW Milwaukee's baseball coach for years, Scott Duffick. So, yeah.
Wow.
My dad was a minor league baseball player in the White Sox organization in the 70s.
I remember that. So baseball was the sport then in the house, if that's the way your dad was brought up.
I mean, he was out pitching, throwing wiffle ball for the whole neighborhood when we were kids. That was, we all wanted to play. There was a kid who played with us, Brian Steinbach, who became freshman of the year at Michigan. And I was talking to J.J. Putz, and I'm like, were you there when Brian Steinbach was there? He's like, the big German? I'm like, no, the Pookie Bear. We called him the Pookie Bear. So J.J. Putz played with him at the same time. And down the hallway in the dorms was Tom Brady. How crazy is all that?
Dude, it is like when you start getting to those upper levels of sports, it's a small world. Right? Like, because there's only a handful of them that, like, people are always like, oh, well, baseball was my sport. But I wouldn't. Like, they're all the guys that make that highest level are athletic freaks. Like, the linebacker might have been, a catcher, or, the DB might have been a center fielder. Like it's where they get focused on. There's no doubt there's nuances, but the elite athletes, like hockey players today, there used to be you're old enough. I don't think you're as old as me, but you remember the movie Youngblood with Rob Lowe and Patrick Swayze? It was a hockey movie, and Swayze has a line in there. He's like, "Well, I'm just glad that there's still a sport where average-sized white guys can excel." Yeah, well, go watch a hockey game now, right? Like they ain't average-sized white guys.
Well, you know what? Hockey players too talk about how when Gretzky was playing, and this is blasphemous to me, but they're like, listen, Gretzky, he wasn't the size of these guys now. I mean, it was a different game back then. He was elite skill-wise, but everybody's got skill now, and they talk about how they just run over guys or skate over guys.
Yeah, Alex Ovechkin would have knocked Wayne Gretzky through the glass, right? Like, I mean, it was a different time. And so, do you subscribe to that theory when it comes to the LeBron Jordan debate?
No, I just love Jordan too much, guys.
See, there it is.
I don't even care. It doesn't even. I don't care. He will always live. I mean, I saw LeBron play pretty in the middle of his career, close up. That after I did that LeBron letter back in the day, went back when Mike and Mike existed.
Yeah,
went back in Ohio, northeast Ohio. That whole letter. I ended up meeting LeBron and watching and. Just to watch him messing with the other players on the court as he was playing, just grabbing guys' jerseys, just doing little things just to annoy guys, not like to even get advantage, just get in their heads. I never got to see Jordan play live, so the mystique of Jordan, if he would have, everybody's just ahead of their time, right? As for the most part. Yeah. I think Jordan was athletically ahead of where everybody else was. Now, if he'd have trained, when we were growing up, you practice sports. Now they train for sports. They train movements. They train agility, all those types of things. That's why you see so many injuries. The body you can train muscles, but you can't train ligaments and that type of stuff. So your body gets strained when you're that strong, that fast.
Boy, howdy.
It wasn't originally designed, I don't think, to be that.
Don't I know?
What?
You almost gave me a Pat Summerall. Don't I know it?
Don't I know it, John?
Frank's been in studio with us enough. He knows the dimensions that are barking at him right now and how blasphemous that is, that either one of us did anything
Takes
more
me
than
30 seconds to get out of this chair. And there's a process.
Yeah. But
are you guys debating or how do you feel on the expansion of the NCAA tournament and the 5 to play 5?
The 5 to play 5, I'm like, I don't really care. Just figure out what you want. That sounds good to me. You're around for 5 years. We're only going to give you 5. I get it. But no exceptions then. If that's what it's going to be, that's what's going to be. And I don't want to start like there are a lot of, okay, kid, he had this injury, he had that injury. I know. And it sucks.
But there are going to be exceptions, right?
Yes, which annoys me. But if it was 5 for 5, then make it 5 for 5. But
because money is going to be, because money is involved.
Yes.
And since money is involved, people will be able to claim that it's hurting their chance to make a living, which it is. It's kind of a crazy thing. Once you do this, and I subscribe to. I love all this. I love all the NIL and everything. I've never watched more college basketball and college football than I have now, because there's the soap opera and the through lines of who's going where and what the coaches hate it because you can't develop anybody. But it's kind of interesting to see some players come through that never would have had a chance or never been seen. And, people abuse it too, but man.
Listen, I'm with you. I think it's actually made college basketball. Well, it's definitely made it better because more guys are staying. Guys are making twice what they'd make as like the 30th pick in the NBA draft right now.
Yeah, they're not going to the draft. That was a story the other day, right?
Yeah, and so we're getting a higher caliber of basketball in college. Yes. So if you love college basketball, if you love the names on the front, which I think a lot of people do, then they have done it. But to your point about the NCAA tournament, I saw just largely negative reaction yesterday, and it is. I can't stress how much I think it's just old man on the porch. The bottom line is this: if you want great college basketball, because I'll make you a case. I think the flip side is today. How many programs do we say? How many tennis programs got dropped today or yesterday? 20 or something. Arkansas, SEC school, lots of money, dropped men's and women's tennis, right? Which I think is sad, which I think is ridiculous. But it's because it's not a money rev sport. It doesn't generate revenue. So we're going to end up where the colleges are really, let's be clear, they're the NFL and NBA's bitch. And to a degree, baseball is becoming that even more in the sense that they just provide free minor leagues for those leagues. And if that's what you want college to be, okay. I would say keep your tennis teams. Don't drop out of the SEC in tennis and just play regional tennis and give kids scholarships. No money. Yeah. Just old school scholarships and let them play tennis. And I think maybe we'll get to that. But as far as the tournament is expanding because they need money.
Right.
All these programs are in the red, and if you add another round of the NCAA tournament, if you add more commercials, then more money comes in. So, and we wouldn't be in this spot. Look, in 1984, when it was Oklahoma, and I can't remember who was the other school, BYU maybe, sued the NCAA to have their own television rights and broke away for their own football rights, which they quickly realized we can't sell just OU. So then the league said, we'll sell it as a league. It was clear that they were going down a road. They were going to make more money. When they started making more money, they were going to have to pay the players. And they just put it off for 40 years. And now they're getting hit like a freight train as opposed to working with them all along. And so they're paying the price that they should pay for not doing what they should have been doing for a long time. So
and it probably would have evolved to this way too. They just would have been paying, and it would have been smacked in the face right away, though, right?
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing. But I always try to explain this to people who hate the whole idea of college kids being paid for all this stuff. I go, well, they could be YouTubers playing video games and streaming video games and making millions of dollars. Kids today have other kids watching them stream things on the internet.
Yeah.
And they're making literally millions. There are people who give Bronny James money to play video games online. Why would you give Bronny, in the words of Charles Barkley, that's terrible, knucklehead. Come on, man. That makes me think back to with when Dickie V and Charles Barkley were doing those games, the first 4 in the NCAA tournament, Dickie V has done his normal studying, even though he's going through all the treatments. And I think he was clear that time. Some stuff has happened since then, but he was doing he's a type of dad. He's incredible. He's amazing. What do you think, Charles? And Charles would be like, I think NIL and the transfer portal are destroying the games as we know it, man. These kids deserve to be paid, but this is crazy. He kept going. He had nothing else to say because he didn't do any studying of the team. He's like, oh, what's incredible, dog? What do you think, Charles? I think the transfer portal and NIL are destroying the game. Just same. Pretty. I mean, I love Charles and I love Dickie V, and together it was like when I was doing a game with Bill Walton. I did a couple games with Bill Walton. We didn't pay attention to any of the game at all. It's like, how great is this? Enjoying her? And Walton would get that thing where he's just overjoyed so much that it's not even truly his voice. He'd be like, we're having so much fun. It's unbelievable how great it is.
Do you when you're working on like a Bill Walton, like I always felt like Bill Walton's mouth opened more or wider than anybody as he speaks. Like, is that part of finding
yes,
the
I agree,
pitch?
but his teeth were too small for his mouth. If you looked at how the diameter from tooth to tooth, across, I guess it would be the diameter, not radius. It would be the diameter across from molar to molar, and then you looked how much space there was around it. It was like I mean, I don't want it to be mean because it's not. It's just kind of
reality,
like a horse's mouth with the big mouth around those smaller teeth in there, and he would talk around it like there was almost a ball stuck in his mouth.
How great is this? Enjoying this as we sit here underneath this eucalyptus tree and our planet that is known as Earth, the third rock from the sun, rotating on its axis. Here we are, the cacti in beautiful Arizona.
We're talking to Frank Caliendo. He's coming to Kansas City. He'll be at the Funny Bone May 15th and 16th. You can get tickets, frankonstage.com. I know our signal booms up north. Omaha, he's going to be there the night before on May 14th. So, again, get your tickets at frankonstage.com. You mentioned Bill Walton, and I always think of Bill Walton calling the Maui Invitational. Like you started down that road and you had him in Arizona, but they would send him out to different beautiful places and he'd film a little thing that they would have as the rejoins from the breaks and everything, and having him wandering around Maui and everything. And it was like, to me that was kind of like the start of the basketball season. Here's this wild man, not even wild, but just free spirit.
Wild man one of my good friends is Dave Pash's partner for Pac-12 After Dark.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave has all the stuff. Bill's wife, Lori, sent Dave all the posters that Bill would have commissioned after every season. And it was always Bill as an angel and Dave as the devil. And it would be,
I'm solar, you're coal, and this, you're phasing yourself out as I become everything. The future is me, the past is you, Dave. I don't even understand why you're here.
He was, he would just start going, and he was a tremendous orator. He had a great delivery. Did he do speaking engagements on the side?
Yeah, he did. He had a speech impediment as a child, right?
Yep.
He was a stutterer. He used to bring people to my shows. He brought some kids that were, sick kids,
right?
And he would bring them to shows. This is like almost 20 years ago. I did a show in San Diego where he lived, and his back was hurting, and he wasn't on TV at the time. And I was like, I'll do this Bill Walton impression. He's from here. And then the people are like, I don't know. He's in the audience. And they gave me the spiel about it. I go, well, let me try it. And if he doesn't like it, I'll just, I'll be able to tell. I'll look. And so I'm doing it. I remember being at Berkeley, notches a beard. I do the whole bit. And Walton stands up with like a towel. He goes, hilarious. This is the greatest show in the history of Western civilization.
Our buddy Roxy Bernstein, worked with him a lot too, and he's a good friend. I go way back with Roxy, and he comes on. He's kind of we do a little bit on Monday and Friday where we go around and talk to the people, where they're at about what stories are going on. And Roxy we still use for San Francisco, even though he's basically a national play-by-play guy now. He still kind of does some stuff, I think, there in San Francisco, but for the most part, he's ESPN and Westwood One play-by-play. He's doing a bunch of the hockey on ESPN. And I remember him, I'm like, well, what do you got coming up, Rox? Where are you going? He says, well, I'm going here. And he goes, I got this and I got this. I go, that's a pretty good lineup. He goes, well, a lot of people don't want to work with Bill. But because he's just a runaway freight train. And he's like, he goes, I just get out of the way. It's less work for me. You just get out of the way.
Too. People didn't understand how much Bill studied a lot. He'd just go off on his tangents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a podcast with Bill once. We said hello, and for 45 minutes he talked without us saying anything. There were pterodactyls supposedly flying through. Somehow the Grateful Dead was involved.
Yep.
I'm not exactly sure how it got there, but it was one of the greatest listens. It was kind of like if Robin Williams were 6'11", 7 foot, and past his playing career. I mean, it was just the tangents were insane.
Yeah.
About 25 years ago on the old Dennis Miller show on HBO, he had Robin Williams as a guest, and for about 45 seconds he tried to do an actual interview. Then you realize Robin was not going to sit for it. So at one point he goes, go ahead, go have fun, just be home before the streetlights come on.
And that's what's great
That's
with
Bill.
Somebody like Bill. Just let him do his thing because it's special. It's different.
That's what people should want to see. They want to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Frank Caliendo is with us. Again, he's going to be in Kansas City, the Funny Bone, May 15th and May 16th. You can get tickets, frankonstage.com. Frank, before I let you go, I do a little thing called the Final Four. I don't know if I've ever given this to you because usually we're running low on time. But just 4 quickies. Just tell me the first thing, a sentence or two on this. Who's your favorite comic when you were coming up? Did you have someone that you're like?
Oh, that was Robin Williams or Jonathan Winters, who was pre-Robin Williams, Robin Williams.
Yeah, Jonathan Winters was brilliant. If you don't know the name Jonathan Winters, go look up his stuff. He is amazing. All right, is there an impression you couldn't do?
Oh, there's tons. If you've never heard me do it, I can't. I keep working on Billy Bob Thornton. It's not quite there yet, but I heard him do an interview where he said, "My kids think I sound like Hank Hill," and so I try to get it from there. No, Bobby, and then come down to here to get this, and throw in a little Tex-Mex. Comprende.
That's pretty good.
Does that make sense?
There. Yeah, the sense.
Sense.
Does that make sense, guys? Are we on the same page right now, or what?
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
All right, who's your best friend in comedy? Who is someone in comedy that's your best friend?
Ooh, that people would know?
Yeah. Or if not, if there's someone that's like behind the scenes that you're like, this guy is amazing and this is what he does.
You know what? Adam Sandler. We hang out. No, I'm just lying. Nick Swartzen is a good one. Who's in all those Sandler movies. I'm trying to think of people
Very
that
funny.
people would know. I'll tell you a story. I'm going to come in with you guys when I'm in town, and I got a tease for Patrick Mahomes. I finally figured out it's not just based on the voice. It's the take for Patrick Mahomes, and I finally figured out what makes what I do funny, and it's been just crushing on stage to the point where I was in Denver, I did Patrick Mahomes, and they cheered.
Wow.
And then I called them on. I'm like, that's the last time you guys will ever cheer Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, I love that. I love that. All right, that's worth the while. Worth the price of the ticket right there. All right, and finally, since you know Bill Walton, there's a little legend about Bill Walton. How tall, in your mind, not that you're around,
I'm
NBA guys
5'6",
all the time.
5'6".
Yeah, but how tall?
And I'm wearing Hokas.
How tall was Bill Walton? Do you believe?
I think before the back and before scrunching over, I would say 7 foot.
Yeah,
I think he was. Dave talks about how Bill would walk past other players and go 6'10", 6'8" at the most. He's not 6. He did. One of the players was Tabellis at Arizona years ago. He's like, he's not 6'10".
He's 6'8.5" at the most.
And then he measured at the combine, or I don't know if it's combine or was the combine one, but it was like 6'8" he measured. Huh?
Yeah, I love it.
Most college players that are listed at 6'10" or 6'8". 7-footers are usually 6'10".
Because, see, I heard that he was over 7 feet, but he didn't. He thought 7-footers, if you're 7 foot, it came with a stigma. So he requested to be listed at 6'11", 6'11 and a half.
Yeah, I think he was probably at his, because I didn't meet him until he was older, right?
Right.
So I'm guessing, and his back was already bad. He was hunched slightly. There's a picture. There was one of those college basketball, no words or no college basketball, no context. And it's me standing next to Bill Walton. He's 2 feet taller than me.
I love it. I love it. Frank, we can't wait for you to get to town. Again, we encourage everybody, frankonstage.com. Get your tickets now. It will sell out. So go ahead and get them right now. He'll be at the KC Funny Bone the 15th and 16th. If that does sell out, or if you're just listening to us up north as the signal booms all the way up into Nebraska, Omaha, he is going to be there on May 14th. Frank, thanks for spending some time with us, buddy. We can't wait for you to get to town.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Frank Caliendo. He is outstanding, and the show is phenomenal. You will love it. Go see him. We'll take a break. You're in the program. All right, running a little bit long there with Frank Caliendo, but always like talking to Frank.
Oh,
I mean, how about the life experiences just for Frank? Like the comedy and
amazing
what he's been able to do, the people he, like every time we bring somebody up, it's like, oh yeah, I called some games with Bill Walton. Like I could have gone like 10 different directions with that. What do you mean you called games with Bill Walton? You know, like what an amazing,
fantastic,
collection of life experiences he has had through comedy.
We got off the air, and Frank thanked me for having him on, and he goes, I added some actual sports content. It might be the end of the world or something. Man, you always bring the sports stuff.
He's a big sports fan. I mentioned that he did a podcast with a guy that was, I'll call him, he was the Johnny Dare of Phoenix, you know, the way Johnny ruled the roost here in Kansas City, and then with our buddy Chuck, who's in Seattle now. And they did a podcast, and just talked about whatever was going on, and it was like wild times and everything. Frank's just an all-around good dude, fun guy. Always love talking to him. I mean, you just imagine, he hangs out with like just about anyone who's got a sense of humor that he's ever done an impression on. They're all good, you know. But then you find the guys, Kurtis,
oh yeah,
do some impressions, they don't like it.
No. All right, off what pitcher did Lane Thomas hit his first big league home run? Brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Let's do it. It is the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Would you like to eat at Nick and Jake's? Of course you would. I was just over there.
I would.
Had a business lunch over there yesterday. Was absolutely fantastic. I went with the chopped salad.
Oh, so good.
My friend went with is it the fried chicken sandwich? I can't remember what it's called, but it looked glorious. It is a great, great spot. We'll give you a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's just for playing the feud. We'll bump that to $40 if you win.
40.
Call 913-381-810. Call now. 913-381-810. Call now. And just for playing, we're going to give you a $25 gift card to Nick and Jake's. Make that $40 if you're a winner.
Operators are standing by.
They are.
So call now.
Petro, Seaboldt, Collier. No Lebo. Lebo's on assignment.
Lebo with hair.
There's a lot of other differences than just the hair between
We'll
you.
go with that.
Michael Darcy is in for Todd Lebo. He will play. So his undefeated streak down the toilet.
My 2-game winning streak. My 2-game, I guess it's not a winning streak, but my 2-game.
Yes,
You're back-to-back.
My
wins.
back-to-back.
You're back-to-back. But you were undefeated.
For a very
That
short
ended.
period of time,
Yeah,
yes.
that ended. So
You may refer to it as a streak when you're not on the air with us.
Okay. I do.
But
People
here,
who ask.
we have rules.
by the way, do you agree with our assessment? 2 games is not a streak.
I think 3, I'll call it a streak. 2, I would not. 2, you're back-to-back. 3, I think you're getting close to a streak.
You are.
Get
You're
out.
at a spurt.
Get out.
So it's a 3-game spurt.
It's a 3-game spurt. It's not a streak till you get to 4.
Somebody else can play the feud with us today. Anybody?
Yeah, we can get somebody else. In
We'll get
fact,
Hell No in there.
Yeah, well,
Watch yourself, Darcy.
Did we have Hell No play once and it didn't go well, or no?
No, he's never played.
He's never played? Okay. We have a contestant. His name is Shane. Shane, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. This is not Shane Summers from In the Building here that's pissed that we didn't ask him to play today, is it?
No, sir.
Okay, good.
This guy
Good.
sounds way too cool.
Yeah, way
Shane
too
Summers
cool for
doesn't
Shane.
like the feud anyway.
Yeah, he's not good at it. That's why. Shane, you know you have a choice to make. You going to play with me? You going to play with Kurtis? Or are you going to play with Michael Darcy?
Boy, I'd like to play with Darcy. I've never played.
There we go.
Never
Okay.
done.
Brave man, Shane. Brave man.
Who's going to, let's see, what, Kurtis, you want to go first or second? We'll let them pick
I'll
against.
go first.
Curtis is going to go first for us. So, Shane, Michael, what order do you guys want to go in?
Shane, you lead us off.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay. Shane against Curtis, me against Darcy. There it is.
Darce.
Kyle, take it away.
All right, first, Shane, let's test your buzzer.
Shane.
There it is. All right, 6 answers on the board. Give me Curtis. Give me Shane. Name somebody who quarterbacked for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Curtis.
Shane.
Curtis.
Jalen Daniels.
Jalen Daniels, number 2 on the list. Shane, can you beat him?
Todd Reese.
Todd Reese,
bang.
number 1.
Yeah.
Pass or play, gentlemen?
What are we
Full
thinking?
disclosure, I'm not a Jayhawks fan, but I do that. So
I am a Jayhawks fan.
Oh,
but
wow.
Let's play it.
The long storied history of Kansas quarterbacks.
Well,
This should
that
be
isn't
fun.
what I was going to say. I don't feel super confident in my
Well.
my knowledge here. Do you want to play?
Well, this is the strategy you got to keep in mind. If you pass, you're going to have to get one right. You can go 0 for 3 in this round and still win. So
You know
if you
what?
pass, you have to get one right.
Let's go ahead and play.
Let's play it.
All right, Darcy, you're up.
Oh, man. I don't think this guy's going to be on the list. Oh, wait. Jason Bean.
Oh,
Right.
one.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Not on the board.
That was not. I was going to throw out a much more niche name, too.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's kind of who I was thinking. He was the backup, ready. He played a little bit. But,
Won a bowl game for
I
him.
feel quite confident we're going to get all 38 points or whatever. Well, there's probably 70-something off those first 2. So I feel confident we're going to get this one, Kay.
wow. I wish I had my good buddy sitting right next to me right now. Big Jayhawker. He would know every one of them. I'll just throw out a name because I have no idea. Stupid decision to play. Let's go with, golly, I don't even know anybody. I can think of running backs, not quarterbacks. Well, I'm going to say John Riggins. I know he's a running back.
Okay, you never know. There might be some
the Pete
stupid people
Enoch
out
of
there.
guesses there.
Yep,
Strike
yep, there
2.
you go.
I mean, if Jason Bean's not on the list, Carter Stanley can't be on that list.
Strike three.
Was that your answer, or was that a question?
That was my answer.
That was your answer. I have down. So it's up to us, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have down Frank Sire and John Hadel. I think Hadel will be there, but
I have Frank Sire and Bill Whittemore. Early 2000s, but Hadel's pretty good. I mean, there's the
Sire is a reach for just like old guys like me and you. Hadel is at least an iconic figure.
Yep.
Whittemore was kind of the first guy to get he got the Mangino era going. Where do you want to go?
I think I like Hadel.
All right, we're going to go John Hadel.
Wow. That's a shock.
Oh,
Didn't make it on the list. That's
What
going to
the
be
hell?
a whopping 55 points over to Darcy. and Shane.
Who is on this list?
Adam Bauman.
All right, the answers you missed. Number 3, Mark Williams.
Who?
Late
Mark
90s,
Williams.
I think. Maybe mid-90s.
No idea who that is.
I've researched all these. I can confirm these are all Kansas
I think you should
quarterbacks.
leave the
remember
whack
the
jobs
name.
in there, but anyway.
Number 4, Bill Whittemore.
Ah, crap.
Number 5, Bobby Douglas.
Should've
Number
got
6,
Bobby.
Frank Sire.
Oh, my God. John Hadel's not there?
I know.
We went Hadel because that was the one guy we both had. I guess we both had Sire as well.
Yeah.
but I
We
can't
call that a
remember.
win, Shane.
Sire ended up playing for the
Yeah,
Chiefs, and he was a local guy, right?
Yeah.
Got a cup of coffee with the Chiefs.
We had 5 names written down, and we could have named 4 of them. Would have been
Yeah.
okay. The 3 of them.
Ridiculous.
All right, that's 55 over for Shane and Darcy. Next question, give me Soren and give me Darcy. 7 answers on the board. Name me an athlete who got popped for PEDs.
Petro.
Soren?
Barry Bonds.
Bonds is not on the list. My fault.
Barry Bonds.
Never got suspended.
Okay.
Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod. Number 1.
Did he get
play.
suspended?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
A full year, I think. We'll play it.
yeah, let's do it. So to me,
Yes.
all right, Jerks and Profar.
Profar, number 3.
Is this all baseball, or?
It is not.
Okay.
Oh, see, missing time, the suspension is kind of what's throwing me. I'll say Mark McGuire.
Never suspended.
Never got popped. Strike 1.
Geez, now I'm thinking all these guys that are suspected of it, or they suspended, and
Well, keep in mind, he said all sports, too. I think that...
all sports. Okay. Oh, I'm thinking football then. Wow. Let's say. Well, I better stick with baseball. No. Oh my gosh. Rasheed Rice, he gets suspended for everything.
It was not that.
Not yet.
Not a bad guess, though.
Strike 2.
I
on
was
this bingo
terrible. I
card.
hope I didn't jinx him.
Oh, man.
I think he's done that on his own.
There's definitely an NFL player on this list. I don't feel... There's not a name that's kind of popping in my head. It's all baseball, and...
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. It wouldn't be Fernando Tatis.
Is that your guess?
I'll say that.
Fernando Tatis Jr., number 6.
Nice. Now back to me. Now the pressure's on.
We're looking for 2, 4, 5, and 7.
2, 4, 5, 7. Okay.
Are we allowed to discuss amongst ourselves?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we can't. Yeah, because we're not trying to steal yet. We were. Was it? All I can think of is baseball players, so I'm just gonna keep throwing them out there. Was Manny Ramirez? I'm gonna guess Manny. I don't know. Was Manny Ramirez?
Manny
Yes.
Ramirez, number 4 on the list.
Oh, whew.
Darcy down 0-2. What you got?
Again, it's only baseball players that are coming to mind. I don't know if he missed time. I actually don't know if he got popped. I know he did them.
If he didn't get popped, how do you know he did them?
He told him.
This Sammy Sosa.
Strike three. Sammy Sosa
Okay.
not on the list. Over to Kay and Soren.
I have. Read the question again and give us the answers.
Name an athlete who got popped for PEDs. Off the board are number 1, Alex Rodriguez. Number 3, Jerickson Profar. Number 4, Manny Ramirez. Number 6, Fernando Tatis Jr.
All right, I want to stress again because the first time I thought you said name a player, and now you're saying
No,
name
I
an
said
athlete.
name an athlete.
All right, so I have Ben Johnson, Vinny Pazienza, and Fernando Vargas, are boxers. That did. I don't think it's going to be them. But Ben Johnson was the first guy to really get popped. And then I have John Wellborn was a Chief who got popped. And I have Ryan Braun was the other big
I have
baseball
Braun,
one.
too. Canseco didn't get popped though, did he? I don't think he was. Did he play long enough where he could have gotten popped? I
don't
also
think so.
I wrote down Francisco Lindor. Was I thinking of Profar? I thought there was a middle infielder that got popped for 80 games.
I think it was Lindor.
Yeah.
But
There was somebody along that line who got hit for 80, and I can't remember who it was. But
I would say Braun or Ben Johnson out of my two would be the two I'd nominate.
we
If
both
you got-
said Braun, so
You want to go there?
Yeah, let's go.
We'll go Ryan Braun. Oh, son of a...
My goodness.
gonna be Ben Johnson.
Let me count up the score here. We got 30. We got 5. We got whopping 70 over to Shane and Darcy.
There we go, Shane.
The answers you missed. Number 2, Lance Armstrong.
Oh, duh.
Number 5, Rafael Palmeiro.
Palmeiro, I didn't think he didn't get caught either.
Oh, well, he's on the list. Number 7, Robinson Cano.
Oh, yeah. That was the one you were thinking of, Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. No Ryan Braun.
Who was a middle infielder?
No Ben Johnson either. You know, he just lost the gold medal in the 100 and all. That's it. Okay. All right. Let's get off our ass, Curtis. Come on.
All right.
All right.
Did you win a buzz-in once?
Give me
I
Shane.
already did.
Give
Wanna
me
know.
Shane. Give me Curtis. 6 answers on the board. Name a Super Bowl winning head coach of the 1980s.
Curtis. Bill Walsh.
Wait, that may have been Shane.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
I think that was Shane.
Okay.
Super Bowl winning coach of 1980. That's the words you got out, right?
Uh-huh.
1980s. Joe Gibbs.
Joe Gibbs on the board at number 2. Curtis, can you beat him?
Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh, number 1.
We got it anyway.
We're going to play, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how is Super Bowl winning coach?
Yes.
Ditka.
Mike Ditka, number 4.
Parcells.
Oh, I was going to just say go easy and leave some low fruit for me.
Bill Parcells, number 3. Top 4 off the board.
Tom Flores.
Flores, number 6.
Wow. I'm going to say Seifert.
Strike 1.
Well, that's it.
That's all of them.
Well,
it is not.
When somebody's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, unless you talk about the game that was played in January of 80 would have been won by Chuck Noll.
Chuck Noll.
Did we get
Number
them all?
5. That's a full sweep.
Okay.
100.
All right. We're
Nice.
back at it.
Good.
Don't call it a comeback.
Good read.
I was like, what the hell? That's each one.
No, and Seifert wasn't on because he won it in 90. Well, so January 90. So I'm glad you read that right.
All right, that one was quick. Next category. Give me Soren and give me Darcy.
Okay.
You guys are going to struggle at this one. 6 answers on the board. Name a Rush album.
Petro.
Soren.
Roots, isn't Roots one of them? Something like that.
Nope. Darcy.
When Darcy swings, Curtis will get it, and then we'll run the table.
Oh, my goodness. Name a Rush album?
You got it.
I picked out these categories because I thought Lebo would be here, Darcy, so I apologize.
Yeah.
What genre of music does Rush make?
Oh, come on.
You don't even know who Rush
I
is?
don't even know who Rush is.
Dun-dun, dun-dun.
Oh, Darcy, you got it. Come on, man. Got a good one. I can sweep this. I'm as good as
Traffic.
Curtis on these, I guarantee it.
I never knew the name. I never know the name of albums. Curtis?
I'm going to say Moving Pictures.
Yep, number 1.
Moving Pictures, number 1.
All right. So we're going to play, right?
Sure.
Swing and a miss. Go ahead. Just buzz me, and then he goes and gets some more off the board.
Strike
Curtis?
1.
I'm going to say 2112.
Number 2.
Go ahead.
That's strike 2.
I'm going to say Permanent Waves.
Permanent Waves, number 6.
And we're done. Go ahead and buzz me. I got nothing.
This was a fantastic
I
category
can't
for
tell you
us.
the name of albums of bands that I was big into.
There's one that they might get.
They don't get a chance. Do they get a chance to steal?
Yeah, they get a chance to steal, of course.
All right, Shane, what you got, man?
All right, so Darcy, you don't know any. So
I have no idea.
What was said? It was 21-12.
21-12 off the board, moving pictures off the board, and permanent waves off the board.
Okay. Well, there's only 15 to 20 albums. And how many answers are there on the board?
I'm looking for 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, okay. I would hope. I mean, I can discuss this with you, Darcy, but you don't know. Right?
Fantastic.
So I'm thinking Fly By Night or Power Windows or Roll the Bones or
Fly By Night sounds vaguely familiar.
It's their second album, right before 21-12, back in the 70s.
Sounds good to me.
Man. But oh my gosh, there's so many of them. You know what? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with my hair. Roll the Bones is what I'm gonna say.
One more time.
Roll the Bones.
Oh man!
Damn it!
Missed it. That's gonna be 65 over to Kurtis and Soren. The answers you missed.
Fly By Night.
Number 3, Rush. Number
First
4,
one.
Fly By
it's
Night.
so tight.
Number 5, Hemispheres.
Wow.
Oh my gosh! I thought so. There's no
All
newer
70s,
one. Oh,
no.
Curtis, can you believe that?
I actually like that. I like the fact that they know the old stuff.
Well, me too. I love Roll the Bones.
Well, those are the ones that were hits.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that I'm qualified to tell you the ones that weren't. But
they were bigger hits than the ones after that, for sure.
Yeah,
Soren went up there and
I love
stared at 3 fastballs down the middle.
He just went.
I told you I got
I
nothing.
concede.
All right, give me. Hell, who the hell is that?
We're on the 5th one, so we're back to the top.
Yep.
Curtis and Shane.
Perfect. Give me Shane. Give me Curtis. 7 answers on the board. In the current NFL, name a player you wish played on the Chiefs.
Shane.
Shane.
I was gonna say. Let's just say Saquon Barkley.
Not on the board. What you got, Curtis?
I'm going to say Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, number 3 on the board.
All right, so we'll play.
Yeah.
Curtis, great move. That was the one I backed out on. I thought there's no way Chiefs fans will say that because they hate him. Oh, great job.
Well, I liked your thinking there on the running back thing.
Shoot.
I'm going to go. What are you looking at me? You're looking at me like I'm an idiot or something.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
This is a pretty broad
I always
question.
look at you.
I can give you positional groups.
No.
Okay.
We don't. No clues. How'd you phrase it?
In the current NFL, name a player you wish played on the Chiefs.
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson, number 4.
Nice. Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, number 2.
Oh, that's good. Let's see. T.J. Watt.
Strike 1.
Because it's an AFC West thing, I'll say. I'm going to say. Dang it! I'm trying to think of Lad McConkey. Thought wide out. I was going to say
A common player that has been beloved by Chiefs fans.
No, but they want a wide out. Don't give me that stupid look.
How about a couple of stars? Christian McCaffrey.
Strike 3 over to Darcy and Shane.
Shane, what are we thinking here? Because I got a couple different options.
Yeah.
Also in the wide receiver position. No Lad McConkey's on my list. I had Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill.
Okay, Justin's a really good one.
And the reason for the
Okay.
Chiefs, Justin Jefferson sounds like the layup here, but I don't.
Yeah, I like that better than mine because I was thinking like a good DB, Sauce Gardner, as you said, somebody like that. That wasn't said, was it? Didn't have a DB said, like a cornerback.
So are we good with going with Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's try that.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
How many, though?
Number 1 on the list. That is
crap.
going to be 80.
Oh, 205. Just enough to
got it.
get you there. Darcy's
Just got
back
it.
in the winner's circle. Shane doing the lifting. Shane, well done. You get the $40 gift card, my friend.
Thanks, Darcy. Thanks for the help.
I do what I can.
Well done. Nice choice in your playing partner, Darcy. Now a 750 win percentage. And that's better than Lebo.
He's got a lot more games under his belt, but
yeah,
still good.
Might still beat him out.
The best part is you don't have the arrogant attitude that Lebo brings in here every day.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
Big
that.
plus.
Of course.
That's a big plus. That's a big plus. Nick and Jake's, get in there and enjoy if you want a great place to watch the game or just a great place for some made-from-scratch meals. The food is great. The people are great. The drinks are great. The view of the games is great. It's Nick and Jake's. 3 locations around the Metro. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, nickandjakes.com.
All right, the Twin Peaks, end of the hour answer. Lane Thomas, Sunday home run hero, homered in his first major league at bat. Off what pitcher did he accomplish this feat?
I wouldn't even know where to begin. I'm assuming that it's, I'll say Michael Wacha. That's a Royal.
Wacha was pitching for the Cardinals that day, I think, or maybe it was the day that he made his major league
right.
debut. But in his first at bat, in his second game, he homered off of Seth Lugo.
Ah, I wonder, that was his first hit or first homer?
Yeah, that was his first at bat.
Wow.
I think he entered the game. His first game was like a pinch runner, maybe a defensive replacement, but his first major league plate appearance was in the 6th inning on April 19th of 2019.
Okay.
And he was a national then, right?
He played for the Mets.
Oh.
Lugo,
no,
he was a
Lugo did.
Lugo was a
Blaine
Cardinal.
Thomas.
No, Thomas was a Cardinal. Lugo played for the Mets. Yes.
Ah, gotcha. Cardinals fans were still bitching that he was in the lineup, I bet.
They might have been.
Did they not like him? Were they anti?
He was pinch hitting.
That's
for the
Royals fan.
Yeah, he was pinch hitting for the pitcher spot in that situation.
So you're just that's Cardinal fans bitch is what you're saying.
I was making a joke about Royals fans about they
complain about Lane. What's he in there for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Took an 0-1 pitch. The note here on Baseball Reference is it was home run reviewed by umpires, original call overturned. So they must have called it foul. The Cardinals challenged it, and they looked at it, reviewed it, and said it was fair. I have to go back and find the video of that, but they mentioned that on the telecast last night, so I was like, I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, very nice. We'll take it. It is the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Our thanks to Michael Darcy and Shane for playing the feud. We do appreciate it. Todd Lebo on assignment. Let's do here a little bit of last night's post-game, talk a little more Royals baseball here in the program. We'll open up the phone lines as well, 913-810-810. If you want to grab a line, I know we left Sean in Jersey and a couple other folks hanging, 913-810-810 if you want to get in on the conversation. But let's talk, first of all, guess I should tell Kyle where we're going to go. Let's talk, first of all, about Bobby Witt Jr.'s 3-run homer. It was the biggest part of the game, biggest story of the game. Matt Quatrero was asked about the big blast.
It was the second swing he hit pretty well to right field today, but that ball really jumped, and it just seemed like it wasn't carrying that great to right field today. There were some balls on both sides hit, so to get it out, that obviously huge for us, but the swing itself and the squaring that ball up and driving it to right center was impressive.
You were saying the other day, not worried about his power at all. He's proven all of us right.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to hit homers. We know that, and just putting good swings on the ball more frequently is going to lead to that. And, he's got unbelievable ability all around.
And that's a short part of the park. If you watch the highlight, it says 380 right by where the ball went out. And it looked like that might be a ball that was going to be caught. And, there it is. It's just not a ballpark we're used to watching. And it had just enough. Because even if that ball was short, the fence is short there. It's just like a bullpen, like in a lot of places, like in Boston in right field. The fence is pretty short. And if it was 5 feet shorter, the guy probably hauls it in. But it wasn't. It got out, and that's Oppo Popo. That was a
hell of a shot.
A hell of a shot.
Yeah.
And an incredibly important time because of what had just happened before it.
I failed to mention that Lebo Sounds without Todd Lebo is brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure.
Yes.
We'll be over there tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you, K10 and Ridgeview, online at familyleisure.com, as they've got a massive sale going on at Family Leisure, so we're going to be broadcasting live there tomorrow. So please come on out and join us. Yeah, Bobby Witt is, that's when you're going good. He got a good swing. First of all, you see the ability. There are a lot of people that couldn't hit a ball out opposite field anywhere, and he just is strong enough to get it there. And I thought the guy might take a dive at it. They've played there for 2 years now.
Yeah.
My buddy who's an A's fan, who's their center fielder that robs everybody?
Laureano?
Denzel Clark.
Yeah, Denzel Clark.
And Laureano's got the arm guy. Yeah, Clark is amazing.
Denzel Clark, but he likes to go up over a wall. Like this would have been
he wasn't in center last night. It was Zach Geloff.
Well, he's hurt. Isn't Clark hurt?
He must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my point is like my buddy who's an A's fan is like, well, if Clark's there, that ain't out. Well, I don't know. Maybe Clark would have run back, hurdled it, and caught it in the bullpen, but I don't think it was just like a wall scraper.
No.
It was a few feet past it. He might have. I would put nothing by him. Like, could he have gone to the wall, leapt up, caught it? Yeah. First of all, if you leave the playing field to catch a foul ball, I get it being an out. But if you leave the playing field to catch a home run, shouldn't that still be a home run?
I think it should.
But it's not, right? Yeah. If you jump over the wall and catch the ball, that's still considered an out.
Yeah, Joe Adele did that in Los Angeles earlier this year. He robbed 3 homers, 2 on the on that wall in right center, and then the right field wall in L.A. is like it is in Sacramento. It's very short, and Adele left his feet, left the field, caught it, and they called him out.
There's a shot of a
Landed
woman
in the stands.
behind him showing a picture she took of him standing there in the stands holding the ball.
I think that should be a home run.
I think it should too. Or else you could just go stand in your right field. If the ball leaves the ballpark,
you'd leave a lot of ground there.
It would. I mean, but like conceivably it could. If a guy stood in the right field seats and caught a ball, should that be?
Or hopped the wall, like if it was a low wall like that, and ran up 4 flights of, 4 rows and caught it. That should be a home run.
Yeah.
What's the yellow line there for?
If you make contact with the ball while you're in the field of play and you carry it out, I guess that's why. Maybe if you did Adele actually catch the ball with his entire body beyond the fence,
or was he up in the air and then he landed beyond the fence?
I can't remember how that. I remember the picture the woman took, but I would think if you catch the ball.
Now he caught it. He was up in the air.
Okay, so he hadn't landed yet. So I can see the distinction between that. If at any part, it's like the illegal forward pass. If any part of your body is behind the line of scrimmage, doesn't matter where the ball is released, it's still a completion. Patrick Mahomes threw a touchdown pass to Travis Kelce in that Houston crazy comeback game on the far sideline where everyone's like, he was across, but his foot was still on the right side. Whereas if any part of your body is still in the field of play and you catch the ball and the momentum carries you out, it's an out. But I could see why people would say it should be a home run. I'm not married to the position.
All right. But Bobby Witt hit it out, and they didn't catch it, and the Royals win. That's the bottom line.
And it was huge.
And we're excited. We mentioned the jam Matt Strom was in. Matt Quatrero was asked about Strom getting out of his own jam.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good at-bat against him from Cortez, and then, set up the first and third. But his fastball is so deceptive, even though the velo's in the low 90s, just where it comes from and the carry on it, it's really hard to see. And then, they tried to bunt, and it's tough to get on top of that ball to bunt it, and then he executed the fastball up again, to get the second out there.
Well, first of all, Isaac Collins started this by not catching the ball.
Yeah.
So, getting out of his own jam, I don't think is an accurate assessment.
Right.
It was a jam that was created by the inability to catch a ball that hit you in the glove.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think Matt Quatrero said that. That was my throw.
That was your throw, but he did play it again. Well, he starts kind of like, let me hear that again.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good at-bat against him from Cortez, and then, set up the first and third. But his fastball is so deceptive, even though the velo's in the low.
So, but the guy on third was there because Collins didn't catch the ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he didn't mention that.
He didn't mention that. He did just say, okay, well, I'm going to give. And that maybe his way of being like, he didn't put the guy on. That was
right.
Third.
Right.
That wasn't him. That was my doofus left fielder who couldn't catch a ball. It was a hard play. If you're just joining us now, I did mention it was not an easy play, but it was definitely an error. But scorekeepers don't give errors anymore. It was absolutely an error.
Because if a guy does that 3 times in a game, you're like, dude, can you catch the ball or not? And if that's the case, then there probably should be an error.
How about coming from behind? The Royals did it in this one, down 1-0. Quatrero said his team is getting too much experience in coming from behind.
Well, we don't want to be down that often. We'd rather be up the whole time. But I mean, the guys don't get fazed by that. They know we got to score, obviously. And today is only down, like you said, down by 1 run. So there were a couple good swings before that, but Salvi crushed that ball to tie it up, and then the pitching was the story.
I mean, I guess technically that goes as a come from behind win, but I don't know. I feel like
you tie it in
if you're down 1, it should be down 1 after 6.
Yeah. And I think Salvador Perez's home run came in the 6th.
And
they were only down 1, so.
Down 5 in the first 3.
Yeah.
Down 3.
Yeah, down 1 after 5 isn't really a come from behind.
Maybe down 3 in the first 3, down 2 in the first 6, or down 1 in the last 3. I'll call it a come from behind.
Kind of like how you do the spread rule in softball. As you get deeper, the number drops.
Yeah, I think
Sunday was a come from behind win.
Yes.
And the ultimate come from behind.
Yes.
Yeah, last night was not Sunday.
But, I mean, there was an element, since it took a while for them to get the bats going, there was an element of oh my God, was it just the Angels bullpen? Like, weren't you thinking that? I mean, that was.
Yes.
I'm always sitting there thinking in terms of what we're going to talk about, and I'm like, well, if this is 1-0, we're going to be talking about. Apparently, it was the Angels bullpen. They still can't hit.
Yeah, when they had 5 hits and no runs through 5, you're like, okay, they're getting one guy on, and it's, even though it was a 2-out triple in the 5th. I mean, it's like, I guess this is just gonna be one of those nights, and then in one swing. That's the importance of I think Bubic getting through 5, even though he was having command issues, and then everyone that followed him just turned the lights out.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And I'll give Bubic. I mean, I want to see Bubic be prime Bubic at some point. I do like when he battled and got him depth. I mean, it was a professional performance, is how I would describe it. But it did end their streak of how many was it? 2, 4, 6 straight with 5 or more. Now they're 7 straight with 4 or more. So
4 or more
runs scored.
Yeah.
I mean, but they had been on a run where it was.
Dang it. Still pretty good. I mean,
5 straight with 6 or more, 6 straight with 5 or more, and now it's 7 straight with 4 or more. So put up a big number today, a big crooked number, and we'll feel pretty good about where they are. Base running continues to be an adventure. Matt Quintero was asked about the base running outs.
I mean, the one when Bobby got thrown out, that ball bounces right back up into his bare hand. Yeah, it's a really tough read. You know, Bobby's trying to be aggressive there. And Lane, you know, we got beat by the inside move. We got to be a little bit, you know, more alert to that there. But, you know, we do know Barlow is somebody you can take third off of. So, and once it was 0-2, you know, you're down 0-2 in that situation, and, you know, it's not the end of the world. But, yes, we obviously don't want those to happen.
True.
You know, again, when you hit a 3-run homer, it makes that go away a lot quicker. But this is a continuation. Like we talked about last year, they were slow to get hitting. And then in the second half, they were a really good hitting team. They got it going if they're going to keep it going now. They got it going a lot quicker this year. So it looks like, you know, while they didn't have it rectified coming straight out of spring training, and I will also point out that I said I don't want to hear anything about the World Baseball Classic screwing everybody up. Remember, that was the Brady Singer excuse that whole year was, well, you know, he had to sit for like 10 minutes in the World Baseball Classic, and you just can't recover from that. Like, that was, like, ridiculous listening to that all year. Wasn't that still Cal Eldred pitching coach then? That would have been. How long's Brian Sweeney been there? He came in with Matt Quintero, so when was the last baseball classic, World Baseball Classic? Was it 23?
Yeah, every 3 years.
So that would have been Brian Sweeney and Matt Quintero.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's like, yeah, we don't like that, we don't want that. Well, but I mean, this is you all of last year and now to start this year. Way too many outs on the bases.
Yep. And if that ball is 10 feet shorter and it's caught and they maybe get a runner to third and they don't score and the A's do, what's the story today? It's not a great come from behind win. It's how do you lose 2 guys on the bases and on top of that, what's with the bunt?
Well,
what's with the not catch in left field? I mean, those things get glossed over when a guy goes yard with 2 men on, which is one of the reasons why the home run's important, because they can erase a lot of problems.
Carter Jensen can't catch on Sunday is what we're talking about on Monday if they don't come back and win the game.
Yeah, and it's home runs can knock out a lot of problems in one swing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the bad news: Vinny Pasquantino leaving the game with a back injury. Matt Quintero asked about that situation.
It's just the same back tightness he's been dealing with, low back tightness. You know, it's day to day, but for whatever reason today it acted up a little bit more. You know, he had some pretty long at bats with a lot of swings involved, so maybe that had something to do with it. And it's just more anybody that's ever had that low back, sometimes it flares up and you don't really know why.
It seemed like he grimaced a little bit in the 6th inning on that swing there. Was that kind of like the tipping point?
Well, it's been happening almost every at bat, you know, but he's been fighting through it, and so it just got a little bit worse.
Fighting through it.
I mean, it sounds like they're not acting like this is super serious, but big guys and back injuries are not the friend of a contending team. So
Nope.
that's pretty scary.
Yes, because
That's pretty
that bat. I mean, the offense long term doesn't work if he's not in that spot and producing. And
Yeah.
maybe he's in, but is the back preventing him from producing? Has that? How much of a problem? How much of the factor was that in the struggles? How long has this been going on? I can see. I mean, if it's been going on for the whole season, you can kind of see why.
Yeah.
Why maybe he was off to some slow starts. You want to hear a fun historical fact about last night?
No, let's move on.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a little too convoluted for an end of the hour, but the Royals posted this last night. It was the second time in Royals history which they won back-to-back games and extra innings with a go-ahead homer. The other time it happened? How about Game 1 and Game 2 of the 2014 ALDS in Anaheim?
Yeah.
Moose in Game 1, Hosmer in Game 2. That's the only other time that they've won back-to-back extra inning games because of a home run.
Wow. That is pretty amazing.
What?
It is a lot of qualifiers, so you
Yeah.
can understand where it wouldn't happen that much, but that is pretty amazing. Let's take a break. We're going to talk a little bit more about the NCAA tournament expanding to 76 and this panic that is going on throughout college basketball because of it. We'll do that next year in the program. All right, welcome back here on the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro, Seaboldt, Collier with you. Coming up in our next hour, Tim Grunhard will be here talking some Chiefs football. Tell me, 76 in the NCAA tournament. If people have heard this program, they know that I'm in favor of expansion of the tournament. Mm-hmm. But did you think it would be this much hand-wringing?
No, I thought there'd be a little. I thought people who... I'm not against it, but it wasn't something that I thought, as a viewer, as a consumer of the sport, I didn't think we needed more games. I'd be okay with more games. I understand the reason why. There's a financial reason. There's a necessity for the expansion. I thought there'd be more people that maybe viewed it the way I do. Sure, 76 is fine. I'm surprised that there's that many people who are close to the game who are heavily against it. That is a little surprising, yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, I understand if people are like 64 was the perfect number of teams because everybody plays and it surrounds and it fits the way I want. I get it. And I will reiterate that the human condition is such that change we don't like. We're out over our skis. We don't know where. Where am I going to park? Where am I going to park with a new stadium? The T-Mobile, where are we going to park at the T-Mobile Center? Everyone figures it out. Everyone calms the hell down, right? So I do get that part of it. But I guess in a lot of, and I have not listened to the Eye on College Basketball podcast with Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander. I'm gonna, because CBS put out a number of different tweets with snippets of them, and they're complaining about it. Everyone's bitch is, oh great, so I got to watch Auburn come in. No, you don't. Yeah, right. Don't turn it on. Yeah. Like what is this Robot Chicken? They think you're going to strap you down to a chair and pry your eyelids open and make you watch?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not how this works, okay? So if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But and it's also I'm of the big college basketball media. I can't believe how underreported, how not even acknowledged the reality of the financial deficit that's going on in college athletics is right now. Now, let me be clear. I am not in any way, shape, or form excusing the NCAA, and more important than the NCAA, the presidents and athletic directors, mostly presidents because the athletic directors report to them, but that the presidents and athletic directors have done to put colleges in this spot. Nor will I excuse for 1 second the big schools swimming in massive amounts of endowment money that aren't just fixing it with that. Okay? And or the ones that aren't like, hey, let's just not play at the highest level. Yeah. You know? Like I don't ever want to hear Central Florida bitch. I don't want to hear Cincinnati bitch. I don't want to hear Oklahoma bitch. Anybody who's left for a bigger league, I want to hear it. I got zero fornications to give for you people.
Bag is empty.
None for you people. You want it in? It's more expensive every time you step up. You shut up. I don't want to hear from you. You're chasing what you thought was a bigger dollar. Don't want to hear about how expensive it is up here to rough it up with the big boys. Not for a second. Don't want to hear. But no one is talking about the fact this all started, I mean, in a lot of ways, like right around the early 80s. I think it was 84 when Oklahoma and I think BYU sued, and I mentioned this with Frank Caliendo, to control their own television rights. That the NCAA should not be able to package their television rights because they didn't like that they just sell them as a whole and they got to play here and we didn't get as much money, and it was all being shared the way the NCAA tournament money is shared. So they sued and got the right to have their own television rights. They quickly found out that just selling OU didn't do anything because nationally no one really cared about OU, right? Regionally they did, but they found out, okay, we got to group it together, lump it together as a conference. That gave the conference the powers, and they started selling the television rights that way. And they wanted all the money, and they didn't want to share it with anybody else. But as you started really making money, big money, then everybody started going, well, wait a minute. And then you did everything you could. Then you made even more money by selling video games with the players' names on it. And for 20 years, maybe more, I have sat on the radio and said, they're going to ultimately lose this. So you knew it was coming. If a fat ass with a microphone with no law degree knows that you're going to lose and then is proven right, you're a dipwad. You have massive amounts of legal resources at your hands. And if you didn't see this coming down the barrel that you're going to be paying these players, and then if you were too dumb to see that, well, you know, when George Steinbrenner spends, other owners that don't really have as much money, they can't help themselves, and they spend even more too. If you didn't think that it was going to be uncontrolled Wild West spending, then you're an even dumber, dumbassier dumbass than I just stated you were in my previous sentence. Okay? So to sit there and act like anybody that's been in the college athletic realm could not see this coming is the biggest farce of all. So you're in this mess because you put yourself in this mess with these massive financial shortfalls, and you could have eased yourself into it if when you're like, hey, you know, legally the NCAA can't just keep our football rights and sell it. You'd have quickly pivoted and gone, and we can't just sell their naming rights. And we can't make all this money and tell them when they got to show up and do all this. Like, we're going to end up having to pay these guys. Let's start the process now. Right? So the shortfall, I have no sincerity towards it. I mean, you created it, and now you got to dig out. But this is how they're digging out. I will give them credit, like, okay, guys, we don't necessarily want all these teams in here, but we got to get a bigger check. So we need more commercials. It's what I've said about why ultimately I think the NFL and Major League Baseball, if we're gonna have to watch 20 different streaming platforms to watch the games, you better have enough games to make it worthwhile. And the NFL really playing once a week really has that problem. So they're going to need more games, and they're going to feed all these mouths, or you're going to gobble up and lose. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Sunday ticket will just go away because each one of the streaming services will just pay more and more. But most of the streaming services are just the networks. It's just the networks feeding it through a different avenue. So, you know, look, you're chasing the money. I get it. They're trying to recoup the money that they now are having to spend for, you know, the players. I got it. So I don't understand why there hasn't been any conversation about that. That's half my frustration. I'll give you more later, but like at least mention that somewhere in the story you're writing about going to 76.
All right, R. Mason Thomas is the highest pick the Chiefs have ever used, and an Oklahoma player who was the highest pick. Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
player, coach, pain in the ass. He's done it all on the gridiron from South Bend to Arrowhead. From football on the radio, back to football, then more radio, then a little more football, and now radio again. It's Chiefs Hall of Famer Tim Grunhard on the program.
Brought to you by The Plumbing Pro. When you really need a plumber, the one to know is The Plumbing Pro. Visit them online at theplumbingpro.com.
That's right, Tim Grunhard here, brought to you by The Plumbing Pro. Sewer, septic, drain installation, and repair. They handle complete plumbing service. The guys at The Plumbing Pro really dig their work as well. If you need underground sewer or water lines replaced, they can do that as well. They even have their low-impact pipe bursting to help save your landscaping, your driveway, your sidewalks, any kind of plumbing, whether it's because a load of laundry can't be done, the drain won't drain, or the hot water heater ain't working. Call the one to know. Call The Plumbing Pro. Thanks to my buddy Tim Grunhard. I now know to call The Plumbing Pro. You now know as well. Call 816-763-8200. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com. Tim, important to remember, theplumbingpro.com.
Yeah, you don't usually like picking up the phone and calling a plumber. You just don't like to do it. It's usually never a good situation.
That's
a lot of the stuff
fact.
that goes on with plumbers and plumbing. It's kind of a crappy deal. But when you call Steve and his guys, they come over and they make everything very, very simple, very easy.
Yeah.
They're great people, and they take care of all the crap that you don't want to take care of.
Wow, it's great when they get there because you know it's going to be solved.
It's going to be solved.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with all that, you know what. And that's a good thing to do. So, yeah, Steve's a good buddy of mine, good people, and appreciate that he jumped on board with us here.
Yeah, they are great because I'm going to tell you, just in talking with the staff, you realize right away, like there's no question you can ask that they're not immediately answering and telling you the reason why and showing you the reason why. I took them back and showed, hey, this is the water heater that I was told that needs to be replaced by some other folks. And then I've told the story. The guy's on the phone calling back, and the guy on the phone doesn't realize that he's on speaker and goes, why aren't you trying to sell him a new water heater?
Wow.
That's what I got.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's why I called you, and the guy just looked at me like, oh, and started trying to turn the speakerphone off.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awkward.
And so that was one of the first things I did when we did, and then we had to, I was like, okay, that was a horrible experience. Fast forward, it's over a year later, maybe 2 years later, water heater's still going.
Still kicking.
And I'm like, hey, by the way, because while we're doing this, can you come out and take a look at this water heater? Tell me about this water heater. He's like, no, you got like 5 more years out of this. He's like, yeah, no doubt, like every other appliance. Yeah, probably back in the day, you built a refrigerator. If you bought a fridge that was built in 1950, it's still running. Right? You buy a fridge now, no chance.
Yeah.
But he's
got
like,
about 5 or 10 years in it.
He goes, no, you've got 5 more years with this.
Good.
For sure. So he said, just, a couple of years we'll look at it, and we're over for something else.
Was it you guys that brought it up last week, or somebody brought it up to me and said, every time I hear The Plumbing Pro, I think of Griggs.
That's me.
Yeah. That was you. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that he was the pitch man for the Plumbing Pro back
The
in
name
the
to
day.
know was
The Plumbing Pro. Yeah, absolutely.
He was great.
Well, Tim, the draft. What grade do you give the draft?
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the grades.
Just give me the grade. Just one grade.
I'm going to give it to you.
Don't give me some
I'm
spiel,
not going to give you some spiel.
Shenanigans. Just give me a grade.
I saw a lot of the national groups and, talking heads give the Chiefs well into A minus.
Oh, yeah?
I'm giving them a B plus.
They're liked a lot more outside of Kansas City
They
than
are.
they are in.
Wow, it's amazing. Doing some of my research the last couple of days, I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that are very, very excited about this draft. And I am too. Listen, this was a Spags draft. We talked about it. If you listen to this show, I mean, you know the inside information. I mean, Soren does a wonderful job and carries the conversation, has the people on, and we talked about it. They were going to go defense. And they did. Spags stood on the table for a couple guys and got the guys that he wanted. The only reason I give him a B plus, so there's my answer. And the only reason I don't give him an A minus, very very close to an A minus, B plus, because I get that they thought that they were going to lose their corner Mansour Delane to either the Saints or who else was it? Washington?
Commanders at 7, the Saints at 8, or and the way it was told to me, what really brought it home as to why they had to do it was it was known around the league that Cleveland was moving out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the Chiefs didn't go up and get it, somebody else was.
Somebody else.
And who that other team was a wild card. There were other teams calling, and who knows what they would have wanted as well. So when people put out there that they could have gotten him at 9, that is an erroneous statement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if he was the sixth pick in the draft, but for the Chiefs, he was.
I would also say
you're only worth what you're picked at.
I would also say to make the statement that they couldn't have gotten him at 9 would also be erroneous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You just don't know. And so when you look at it, they clearly drafted for need. That's one thing I will say. They didn't give up these picks because you could have said, well, we'll stay at 9 and we'll take something else. They clearly thought this was, my understanding is they thought this was about a 5-man draft. Probably Mendoza was the 6th. And the last one standing was Mansour Delane.
Right.
And so, and not that there weren't other first-round guys, but, for up where they were, the rarefied air, I think the Ward, the safety, is going to be a really good player. I think that would have been the consolation prize if he couldn't move down or something, because that's a need position as well. But to really improve their football team the most, the players that could do it, and I think it was Carnell Tate, what they thought was realistic. I think they felt Bailey and Reese. They knew Mendoza was going to be gone, and who was the other one I'm forgetting?
Love.
And Love. I think they thought those were the first 4 guys in some order.
Yep.
And then is Carnell Tate or Mansour Delane going to fall? And Delane's the bigger need immediately. I don't know that next year he's the bigger need, but he's the bigger need immediately. And so they said, we can't risk it.
Yeah.
And we're going to go. And we're going to get somebody else. I mean, so.
And this is a guy that they had circled.
Yes.
Obviously a position of need. They like this guy. Some of the guys that I've talked to out there, some of my sources have said that, he's a tough guy. He will hit you. He plays strong defense. He can tackle.
He was a high school wrestler.
All-state wrestler.
Yeah, which I always like that part of the equation, yeah.
Excellent. And, listen, I think it's important for us to kind of talk a little bit as you look at this draft about kind of Spags and what his philosophy is. A lot of people call him the mad scientist. A lot of people will talk about, he likes to show different things and drop and bring edge pressure. And every defensive coordinator likes sacks. But Spags is kind of one of those guys that have kind of transcended the sack and gone more to the pressure. Pressure is important to him. And obviously the Chiefs haven't had a lot of sacks over the last couple of years, so he has nothing to bitch about. But they have, pressure is really important to his defensive schemes. He likes to run the amoeba stuff. He likes to run the NASCAR stuff. Amoeba stuff for everybody out there is when, you have different numbers and different guys standing and moving around everywhere, and you call it amoeba because, we have an amoeba protection where everybody's turning, and you take a gap, you never chase, you let guys go, and you let them, if a guy goes across your face, trust, I'm talking about offensive line protection against an amoeba defense. Now, in amoeba defense, you got so many guys twisting and stunning and all standing up and doing all these different things that you have an area, you don't have a man, and it's so important to process that and to get that across to your offensive lineman. If a guy goes across your face, do not chase because somebody
else
back.
is coming through that spot.
Right.
So you got to stay home. So that's one of the things that Steve Spagnuolo was known for. He was known for the NASCAR package, which was a hallmark of the 2007 Giants team that just, a bunch of guys that are real athletic, getting after the quarterback and moving and stunning and doing very similar to the amoeba stuff. The other thing is defensive back versatility, and that's where this draft, I think, fits in. And the guys that they went and have gotten in free agency to kind of replace McDuffie and some of the guys that they have, that they're going to heavy safety usage. You're going to have a safety up in the box. You're going to have a big nickel or a dime defense on the field 60 to 70% of the time. It's going to be out there, so you got to have those guys. And the big nickel is basically 5 or 6 defensive backs, so you got to have those guys. Players like Jamari Connor and now Mason Delane and Mansour Delane. You got to have those kind of guys out there that can play multiple positions. And remember, The Chiefs, most of the pressure they got last year was from what? From that kind of that safety slot pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the Chiefs needed. They needed to kind of refill this if they were going to kind of run the stuff that they want to run. To run the defense, if Spags wants to run, he had to get these guys. And he stood on the table. I'm just telling you guys right now. He understood, hey, listen, I know we're losing some of our guys because we just can't fiscally afford to have these guys, but we better replace them. And the Chiefs did that for him in this draft.
My issue with it would be the idea of the pressure versus sacks. That like, well, we want to retool and do the thing we've been doing with new players.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he overrates pressure versus sacks because guys can quarterback can still throw the ball if you get pressure.
I agree wholeheartedly.
They can if you hit him and knock him down.
I agree wholeheartedly with the sentiment that sacks are more important than pressure. That has become like the 11 true first-round picks. There's a little bit of, the pressures. There's a little bit of look, cover my ass. Well, no, we didn't sack the quarterback, but we got some pressures, and it's a little bit of let me cover my player's ass with that too. Well, the pressures are important. You're not. Listen, you don't. Yes, pressures lead to sacks. All right. But sacks also are better than pressures. Okay, so
sometimes the ball comes out.
Let's stop awarding participation ribbons.
But the one thing that you do have to understand is in this day and age of the quarterback and getting rid of the football quickly, is sacks are it's almost extinct. This is not happening as much as it used to when guys were 7 and 9-step jack.
They're harder, but they're not extinct.
Yeah.
Teams are still getting 50 sacks outside
here. They're
the
going.
Broncos got plenty of them.
They're extinct here.
Well, they're getting to the point where it's getting harder and harder to sack the quarterback. But what you do want to do, and guys, I agree with you. Listen, I'm the old school guy. I like sacks. Derek Thomas, Neil Smith. Give me those guys. Give me those sacks. Give me playmakers on the defensive side. Give me sacks. But with pressure and with showing pressure, and that's one of the things that Spags does such a good job of. And it always goes back to what I talk about time after time in the NFL, and that's getting people to overthink, and overthinking causes hesitation. Hesitation causes mistakes. Pressure causes mistakes. Pressures cause turnovers. Pressures cause interceptions. Getting guys off the field. So I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. I love the sack. I want to see sacks. And I not making excuses for the Chiefs not sacking the quarterback. But in this day and age, it's not just the Chiefs. Pressure, if you talk about pressure rate, it's even in college now, pressure rate. Pressure rate is a stat that defensive coordinators and believe it or not, offensive coordinators are looking at how many times do they pressure the quarterback. And it's not like it used to be. We'd walk in the offensive line room on a Wednesday morning, our offensive line coach, whether it was Howard Mudd, Alex Gibbs, Mike Solari, Art Shell, they put up the guys, and what they put up next to them, how many sacks they have. Not how many pressures they have, how many sacks they have. So I'm with you guys on that. But the way that these guys think now, Spags and other defense coordinators, is about how do we pressure the quarterback? How do we get the quarterback to get off his spot and make a mistake? And so that's kind of where I was going with that.
One thing, if I'm looking at Dallas's numbers last year, the two highest defenses in pressure percentage were Dallas at 31.2, Denver at 30.5.
Mm-hmm.
Denver had 68 sacks, Dallas had 35. And you might be able to make an argument that they didn't have almost half as few, barely more than half the sacks Denver had, but they had the same amount of pressures. There'd be something to come out of that. But the Chiefs were 16th in the league last year in pressure percentage as well. They're not getting a lot of pressure either.
Well, 16th is middle of the pack.
Yeah, middle of the pack. Yeah. But if they were higher, you could understand. Okay, they're not getting a lot of sacks, but they're getting pressures. They're not really weren't even getting that many pressures.
Listen,
and they were 26th in sacks.
I can tell you that the eye test in watching them rush the quarterback. I mean, the first of all, when you said 16th, I'm like, wow, that's better than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
I would have guessed lower, and I think, we've seen the defenses lately that the defenses that have dominated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Their 2 Super Bowl blowout losses have come at the hands of teams that got to the quarterback with 4, and they can't do it. I mean, the Derek Notties and the Mike Pinnells, like that time has come and gone, and so. I do think that, listen, they were 6th in points and 10th in yards allowed. Is that right, defensively? I want to double check that because I want to quote that correctly.
While you're go ahead.
Well, the point to that is
yes,
okay.
sixth in points, 10th in yards.
Okay,
and I think that this draft is fitting into what your theory is and what your fact is you're going to bring out here, because with Candy and Delane, I think they could cover a little bit better than. Let's hope. I mean, that's the idea. Is we're bringing in whether they can cover better than McDuffie or not. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But bringing in Woods and Thomas, and with Jones, and with Karlaftis, the idea is what you're just about to say. Can we get to the quarterback with 4? And then sprinkle in some of Spags' mad scientist stuff from the slot and bring in blitzes, because he's always going to do that.
Right.
But
Which works better if you can get.
Seattle
get
was a team too. Seattle got it to people with 4. That's why they won the damn Super Bowls, because they were.
Yeah. There's a little bit of. I mean, I think there's a little bit of it on offense as well, and that is if you can just run the ball and have a guy run for 15 here and 7 there, and you don't have to. You know, there are only so many gotcha plays, and the Chiefs seem to need to gotcha. I am so happy that you've come back around to running the football. Well, no, I've always passing the ball.
Who was that one guy that used to have on here? He'd always be ripping me because Grunty just wants to run the football.
Well, passing the ball is passing the ball is the more efficient way, and if you can throw it on every down and be successful, do it. But when you can't, and that's part of where they are, your quarterback takes up an enormous amount of your cap, so you don't have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce in his prime, and the best right tackle in football, and a good left tackle, and then really good in the they were an embarrassment of riches when they were slinging it all over the yard on every down. Now they've got to get people off the quarterback's ass.
Well, and what's happened, what the kind of the maturation of the defensive linemen have made the biggest jump in athleticism of any group. They're athletic now. These guys are unbelievable. They're running 4.8, 4.7 40s at 320 pounds. So, yeah, I mean...
Wait do you see the Nigerian kid who ran up? You see him?
No, but I can imagine.
3.7 40, amazing.
No, he ran out. He's the fastest 40 ever clocked at over 300 pounds. He basically looks like a bigger Myles Garrett, ripped to shreds.
Is he playing over in NFL?
He was in,
Europe,
he's in NFL, the NFL development thing in Africa. And the Eagles took him in the 6th round, and he's basically 35 pounds heavier than Myles Garrett. And then basically just for the sake of he's 1 rep more or less in the bench. He's 1 inch more or less in the high jump and 1 inch more or less in the broad jump. His 40 time is, I think, 200ths quicker. I mean, you're right.
So the athleticism of
insane.
defensive linemen, back when I was playing, you had big, strong slugs out there, basically. I mean, guys, there was always a couple guys. I mean, you had LT and you had DT, and I mean, I'm not going to go through all the names, but I mean, basically, he's going against the like Peter Woods is Chester McLaughlin. He's Chester McLaughlin.
Yeah.
They drafted Chester McLaughlin. At
remember
times, he
when
looks
you guys got a hold
unstoppable.
of Chester McLaughlin, too?
What?
It's McLaughlin, but he's not the guy you should be taking that heat from, probably.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. You ran down a tunnel with him and saw his name written on the back of his jersey. And I get it when you don't remember the names of the guys.
Chester McLaughlin.
The name was on the
instead of Chester
locker right
McLaughlin.
next to yours.
Whatever.
Was this locker by yours?
It was not by mine.
Okay, so
I stayed away from those defensive guys. So Chester McLaughlin locker was not next to mine. Chester McLaughlin's may have been.
Okay.
But they just drafted Chester McLaughlin, and because I mean, listen, this guy shows flashes of being unstoppable, but he also shows flashes of being a lazy ass too.
Okay.
So that's what we need to say.
I want to back up.
Let's back up.
Because you've traveled a long way. Let's take a break so we don't get way behind. We'll come back more with Tim Grunhard, our football insider. Life coach. Chiefs Hall of Fame Center is with us.
Grunhard or Grunhard? Which one is it?
Grunhard.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tom.
A.K.A. Grunny. Yeah, Tom Grunhard.
Tom Grunhard.
Uh,
it was Tom
All-Pro.
Grunhard. It was Tom Grunhard. It's Tim Grunhard.
A.K.A.
So if I can live in that world, I could screw other people's names up.
Listen, serving Kansas City since 1980, the Plumbing Pro, locally owned and operated. Yes, still locally owned and operated. You'll find a lot of trucks with some names on it. They're like, oh, they've been there forever. Yeah, do your research. You'll find out, like the company I used to call, they sold out 4 or 5 years ago. Listen, this is truly a Kansas City company. It's the Plumbing Pro, the one to know.
All right, the Lafayette contestant, end of the hour answer. R. Mason Thomas, highest pick the Chiefs have ever used on an Oklahoma player. Who was the highest pick?
Well, I know William Barty was a second-round pick.
It is William Barty.
What year was that?
2000.
We've tried to get it out of our head.
That was my last year when he got drafted.
Number 54. He was the one guy who...
He drove you out of the game?
He drove me out of the game. Those young guys drove me out.
William Barty was one of two echoes. He and I believe the guy's name was Julian Branch in the third round were the echoes of Dale Carter. They took a corner safety hybrid in Dale Carter and made him and he ended up being a Pro Bowl corner. And I think Carl in the front office to say, "You all right over there?
I'm having issues with my thing."
And Carl in the scouting department, I think, decided, well, we can take any kind of hybrid corner safety and make him a good corner.
Nope,
didn't work with William Barty. William Barty didn't he have one of those where?
I'm trying to get this to pull the numbers up. How many?
How many starts did he have?
Oh, none.
Yeah,
no way he started.
He played 87 games in the NFL.
Oh, not for this franchise.
He had
was
87 games, 31 starts. He played from 2000 to 2005.
Started for who?
Chiefs.
Oh,
31 starts.
He played 87 games for this team?
Yeah, he played 6 seasons.
How does it feel to be wrong, Soren?
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Six
I blocked that out of my head. I
blocked it.
How does it feel? They're the ones who got it wrong.
How many
they played him.
How many rookies? How
career
many
interceptions for William Barty?
Richard,
0.
Yeah.
He played 87
you know what Richard
games.
Means, right? What's short for Richard? That's how many he had.
Yeah.
He had 3.5 sacks, 0 interceptions.
There you go.
There was a play, I want to say it was going away from the tunnel on the left side of the field where somebody went long, and he perfectly, and somebody, I think the star may have even got a shot of it, where he did one of those, the guy's looking back forever, and he finally looks back as the ball's going over his head. And so you have this catch right above him while he's like,
looking back for the ball.
Looking for it.
And this is when you had your seats right there.
Well, that was where I saw it, and then I'm like, oh, thank God the star had gotta get a picture of this disaster.
Yep.
That was awful. That was brutal.
Second round pick.
Never brutal. LaFetta, always the best. Go see our buddy Adam. Tell him you heard about it right here on the program. Get you some wonderful sandwiches. Their sandwiches are to die for. Graduation parties are right around the corner. They cater. Give them time. Get your order in now because they will not serve a sandwich that sucks. Okay? Period. It's on the door.
It just says
LaFetta,
no sucky sandwiches.
LaFetta Italian Delicatessen. We will serve no sandwich that sucks. It's right there on the door.
I like that.
It's not, but
it should be.
But that is pretty much their motto in the sense that, like, the bread has to be fresh, the ingredients have to be fresh. If they don't have it, or they can't give you good service, they just don't open.
There you go.
That's like when they were all on vacation. He's like, all right, listen, this sucks, but we're going to be closed for 4 days during spring break. Tell everybody.
Hey, so
get your catering order in now, people. Thank me later.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead because I did want to ask you a question though, but I don't want to get away from where you're going. So just go ahead and.
Well, so you were talking about the defense and Steve Spagnuolo standing up for guys. So have we noticed what's going on in the draft? Like, I do get that the salary cap is heavily weighted to the offensive side of the ball, but that is a lot on the Patrick Mahomes contract that makes it heavily weighted there. But do you know that if you take picks 120 and above since 2022, so basically a whole draft cycle, what do you think just 120 and up, right? So the top ends, that's third down starting into the fourth round. What do you suppose the breakdown is? Offensive players versus defensive players drafted.
It's got to be heavily offensive leaning.
Heavily offensive leaning?
Is it? I don't know.
Is that your guess?
That's my guess.
13 defense, 6 offense.
Oh, you're talking about the Chiefs. I thought you were talking about the whole draft.
No, the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
13 defense, 6 offense. I mean, if we're just taking top 120s, this year, corner, D-tackle, D-end, corner. Last year, O-line, D-tackle, D-end, corner. 24, wideout O-line, tight end, or wideout O-line, 2-0 offense on that year. 23, DN, wideout, O-line, DB. 22, corner, DN, wideout, safety, linebacker. And then after that, corner, tackle, DB.
Seems like the defensive guys turn over quicker here. Like, once they're done with their rookie contract, they kind of bolt out of here.
I think it's because.
What do you think?
I think you're right. Chris Jones is the one guy that they re-signed. Chris Jones, who's on second contracts. Chris Jones,
Is Karlaftis on the second?
Karlaftis is, yeah. I mean, he hadn't started the extension, but they've signed him to the second contract.
Right.
They gave another deal. They had a 1-year deal to Drew Tranquill, and they added a couple more years to that. So kind of he fits that bill. But everybody else, I mean, they brought Mike Pennell back. They brought Derek Nottie back on 1-year deals. So I don't really consider that. But like you talk about like a real contract where like, hey, we had to give this guy real money to keep him from going anywhere. Those are the only ones. Now, Chris Jones carries a massive number. I mean, a number that's his number this year is bigger than Patrick Mahomes' number is because of the rework of Patrick Mahomes' deal. But, I think from the standpoint of like, okay, I lost some guys. Well, I mean, you're going to lose some guys 4 years from now too.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be the same.
Look at the starters next year. I mean, really, other than Noah Williams, maybe I guess Shamari Connor. Everybody else is new.
Define new.
Well,
Karlaftis, Chris Jones.
No. I'm sorry. Starters in the secondary. I'm sorry.
Oh, in the secondary. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Chloe Gilman, Mansour Delane,
Cater
Kohu from Miami if he's healthy.
Chloe Gilman,
Noel Williams.
I mean, a lot of new faces.
I don't even know that Kyrie Elam's going to make this team, especially now that they drafted 2 corners.
Yeah.
I think he looks like he's on the outside looking in to start. But, yeah, I mean, look, you need good football players on both sides of the ball. You need to be good on both sides of the ball. But I do think 2 things are going on here. One, there for a while early on in the Andy Reid regime, they were really good about taking a guy a year ahead of when they really had the need. And with all the contracts, not being able to keep other players and keeping the biggest of big contracts, they're now chasing their roster. And
no truer statement has been made.
And that's a dangerous spot to be in.
Well,
because I think next year they're going to be in the same spot. Because next year, unless they strike absolute gold with Cyrus Allen, and from the 5th round, he ends up being a 1,400-yard receiver, they're going to watch Rashee Rice walk. They're going to be in the walk year of Tyquan Thornton, or the walk year of Xavier Worthy, and the walk year of Tyquan Thornton. All right?
Yeah.
And then Jalen Royals offered him nothing. Like, at some point, so they're going to take, like, I can probably give you the spots they will take with their first 3 picks next year. Wideout, tackle, because Jalen Moore's gone.
Jalen Moore's gone next year, yep.
Unless they re-sign him.
Can't afford him.
Wideout and offensive tackle for sure, and maybe tight end. If not, they might be doubling back around to edge rusher and chasing the same spot that they just drafted. They've now, if the combination of Ashton Gelati and R. Mason Thomas can't nail down that edge, and they have to go down that road again, like, because they took Wanya Morris, then they took Kingsley Suamataia, then they took Josh Simmons.
Yep.
3rd, 2nd, 1st. They finally got it filled, but that's 3 picks trying to address one spot. Now, the good news is Suamataia looks like he's going to be a real good guard.
Yeah.
But Wanya Morris has done...
You're always pointing up on Suamataia.
Wanya Morris has been a swing and a miss.
Well, and the crazy thing is, too, I was talking to Andy over the weekend, Andy Heck, the offensive line coach. I said, what are you going to do during this rookie camp and, the whole free agency deal going on right now? Because you don't have any guys. He goes, no, I have 2 full lines. He's got 2 lines. So it's all signed from free agents and camp invitees. So he's got 2. He's got a 1 group and a 2 group to run during a rookie camp. Which I'm like, how are you going to? What are you going to do? There's like 3 guys there,
of a rookie camp.
Like the camp that's coming up here. Starts tomorrow.
I'm trying to figure out who that is.
He said, listen, I got camp invitees, I got free agents, and I said, what happens if so? Talk to me about this free agent thing. So you sign a guy. They signed a guy from West Virginia, I think. They signed a guy from, was it Rutgers or something?
They got an Oregon guard, I think.
Yeah, they signed a bunch. I said, what happens if these camp invitees are better? He goes, yeah, it's that's happened where. you invite some of these guys, just camp invitees. You're basically just trying to fill the roster. You're trying to fill the group, so you have two groups.
Yeah.
So so what happens if some of those guys at camp invitees said it's a tough deal because when you're signing some of these free agents, you're giving them some money. You're also appeasing some agents. Yeah, and there's a whole lot of politics that go on to these free agent signings, believe it or not. And the camp invitees are just guys that fill the roster, so you can go out there and you can run a couple groups. And I said, well, what happens if some of these guys are better? He goes, yeah, it's happened. It's hard to keep them.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep them around because you promise money and you promise agents and you promise probably coaches. You got to build these relationships. It's part of the deal. It's not far off of college recruiting anymore when it comes to this point, where you're recruiting guys to come in just to kind of fill the voids.
Is Mike Caliendo still on this roster?
I think so. I think he is.
Because I'm looking at a depth chart that has him on there.
I think he still is. But he won't be in this camp.
No. I'm just looking at what, I'm trying to project in my head what
Ezra Pohl, he's still.
Esa Pole?
Yep.
Isn't he related to McLaughlin?
He's related to McLaughlin.
I think so.
If you think I'm going to, these names are always going to be butchered. It's been 30 years, all right? So just.
It ain't changing.
It's not changing.
I'm not much better, but it just entertains me when you're worse.
I'm not here to rip you when you say I'm wrong. That's the problem.
Well, you don't know they're wrong. That's the difference.
You're probably right. But if I heard you say like something like Caliendo's name wrong,
I'd probably call him Frank Caliendo because we had Frank on
one
earlier.
right name and one name of somebody else who
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah.
Probably in sports.
It is getting worse though because I was missing both of Caleb Brooks.
You've called Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs.
You've called him Caleb Ward 17 times.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
And I go,
we're getting older. We're
I
not
know
getting, it's
if
not
Ward's
getting
really good.
better.
I'm like, who's
hey,
Ward?
if you're listening to this show for the name pronunciation, get the hell off.
Stop.
It's just not. It's because it's not going to be.
So, what's your favorite pick?
Favorite pick might be for me, it's going to be. It's going to be the running back. I like.
Why?
This pick.
Why am I supposed to settle on that?
Because
I was like,
I
wait,
like
they didn't take
offensive
an offensive
guys. I
lineman.
mean, there's really the
Likes to
first
run the
offensive
ball.
guy that they took, run the ball. A lot of scouts viewed this guy as a steal for the Chiefs. He provides he could catch the ball out of the backfield. There's a lot of people that had this. He one of the top 5 running backs coming out, and I like him. I like the Nebraska kid. I like he's a tough runner. He catches the ball in the backfield, runs some screens. I don't know if he'll be. I don't know if he'll be
I have one major question about him.
productive.
I likened him to Brian Westbrook last night, and Jeff Chadilla goes, "Oh, I mean, he's not Brian Westbrook." I'm like,
well, he's not.
Well, no,
I'm sorry.
Hang on a second. Brian Westbrook was a second-round pick out of Villanova. I mean, I think he was second round. Maybe he was even lower.
I think he was second.
But I mean,
so you like him?
This kid played in Nebraska. Oh, I like him a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then why were you looking at me sideways when
I'm
I said
not looking at
that?
you sideways, but it was funny because Jeff goes, "Oh, I mean, they're very different," and he said that Westbrook was way bigger, and so I looked this kid up, and he's 5'10" and a quarter and 202, and Westbrook was 5'10" and 203. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So Sam was like, oh, no,
I'm glad you're
totally different.
I'm glad you're slamming Chadilla too. Good. It makes me feel better.
Jeff, I do think it's funny how we all
perception.
Well, yeah, we all look at the same things, and then we have different views of how it works.
Right.
But I think everybody likes this pick because
I think he's a good pick.
He's a very productive player at a very high level. I mean, he's playing in the Big Ten, and so I don't know what's not to like about him. I mean,
Curtis, throw some salt on our game.
No salt. I said there's
he doesn't pass block.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
There's one question I would have: is the consensus is that he's going to be a good third down back because he can catch the ball.
If you can't pass block,
but if you can't pass block, you're not going to play third down running back.
I didn't say he's going to be a good.
Yeah, but if he's on a third down back, what else does he do?
I think he's
comes in
number one back.
He's a second down. Yeah,
I think he'll be 210 pounds by next year, if not by training camp. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the things they'll tell him is you got to keep getting stronger.
He's
kid.
a compliment to this this current rotation. He's a compliment.
He's a guy who is good.
I would not put past him being the best one on the team. I'm not going to predict it. Kenneth Walker's going to get every opportunity. They didn't give him $15 million to be like, no, don't see it at St. Joe. I mean, they're going to run him out there first. But running backs are just so it's weird. I mean, the things that make them great are hard to measure.
And I think you're going to get your wish here. I think the Chiefs are going to make running the ball a point emphasis.
I think so too. I think Jeff
with
brought
the
up
enemy.
He fits a downhill running style. I think.
You see, he looks like a downhill runner.
We'll get our wish.
More than a
looks like a
scat
back.
I don't, because he doesn't have any speed.
Have you? But you see him just thundering downhill in a straight line and running through people?
Not through, but I think he's if they're going to run it downhill, they're going to create holes, and I think he'll be able to.
I'll let you guys
get to the hole and hit it.
Well, what do you see? I see a guy who's cutting back all over the place. Everything is cut back, cut left, cut right, cut left, cut right, cut left.
I think he can catch the ball well, and he's got good vision. I don't know what he's going to do. Is he fast enough or strong enough to run over NFL linebackers? I don't know.
Curtis and I might just be caught in one of our many battles of semantics here. But I think of downhill runner like Derrick Henry's a downhill runner.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson ran downhill. Herschel Walker ran down. I'm thinking of big backs coming down like. This kid's not coming downhill.
The Chiefs had a downhill rusher.
I mean, Collier was for sure.
Yeah,
Barry
Larry
Word
Johnson.
was. Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
It's been a while.
Rookie year Kareem Hunt.
No,
some.
No. Yes and no. I mean, he, at 5'10" and 215.
He's like a bowling ball.
Yeah, but I mean, there was shiftiness. He wasn't this kid. This kid is more
hurdle guys.
I mean, you look at the highlights, not the ones where he gets in the open field and goes the distance. Look at the ones where he's constantly in traffic and still gets 11 yards.
Yeah,
he makes
got good vision.
He makes 9 cuts.
Yeah,
he'll make a guy miss, like somebody comes unblocked in the backfield. As long as he's got the ball in time, he'll make that guy miss in the backfield. Now he's on to the next level. I mean, and
with Nebraska's offensive line this year, he had to do that a lot.
Yeah, he'd come through the line. He'd make a cut at the D tackle. He'd make another cut at the linebacker. Make another cut at the safety. Then he'd cut back in the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kept seeing a guy who's, I don't think we're going to see 50 in a cloud of dust. I think we're going to see.
I think it's
cut back, and I do like him catching the ball in the screen game because I think that vision's there.
And listen, when are we going to get back to that? I mean, we just have not been able. Andy Reid's always been known for his screen game. Well, it hasn't really been around for the last 4 or 5 years. And every guy that they bring in, they say, "Oh, this is the guy. All right, here we go. Rub your hands together. We're going to be able to run the screen." And it hadn't happened. Is this the answer?
Jerick McKinnon
finally?
left.
Well, I mean, don't you feel like
because they have the athlete, they have the offensive line to do it.
Well, so many screens, like center screens. Middle screens, I guess I'll say.
Yeah.
Middle screens often come after a play action, right? If you don't ever run play action because you're always in shotgun, how do you set the screen up?
Yeah, I didn't watch enough Nebraska football to see. Is this kid been?
They had a pretty good screen game. They had some left screens.
Were they underneath or shotgun like every other college team?
So that's a good question because I'm always when I watch his stuff, I'm always staring at him and what he's doing. I need to look at that.
Yeah, is he in a pistol? Is he in a shotgun?
My assumption is with Dana Holgerson running the offense, right? Dana Holgerson ran it this last year at Nebraska, I think. Maybe even the last 2.
He's kind of a gun guy.
He's an air raid that's morphed it to the way he wants to go. I'm 90. Okay. How long has he been there? 1 year or 2?
Let's see.
I feel like it's his second year there, but I don't know.
He's been there.
That sounds right because Willie Fritz took his place.
24 and 25.
Yeah. So, but there are a number of screens on those. When you watch the highlights on Emmett Johnson, there are a number of screens that are part of the game. So I definitely think he can catch. Can he go Marshall Faulk and come out as a wideout? I didn't see any of that. But again, I didn't watch. I'm watching 7-minute highlight tapes.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't get a feel for it.
But notice I don't say when I'm watching tape.
Yeah.
So I stick to. I'm watching the same YouTube cut up.
So you're just telling the truth.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah.
But
we'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I think he's got great balance, great vision. Certainly for the cutback, and I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah,
I mean, I do worry that he has got a little bit of Pacheco in that he is in a hurry to get going. Yeah, there might need to be NFL sometimes it takes a second for that hole to develop, or it's an area and you got to find the, you tell me, at the end of your career, I feel like sometimes now offensive line blocking, old days, we're going to the 4 hole. So you better get your head around, get across, get to the 4 hole, and now, and then it was zone blocking, and so we'll just shove them down and then you cut back. I almost think it's like zone blocking within holes. Like everybody's doing a bit of zone blocking. If the defensive line is going to slant this way, then you just take him that way. And it's on our back to see that and cut away from it.
Well, that fits into what we talked about a little bit earlier with the athleticism of defensive linemen. Athleticism on the defensive line can also be an issue and hindrance for being gap sound. I mean, because they're so athletic, they're trying to fight across the block and they're taking themselves out. That's why the cutback has been so prevalent in the NFL, I think, over the last couple of years. You're exactly right. We would say, hey, listen, it's a 34, outside zone. Then, if you don't get to the 4 hole, you're going to the 6.
Yeah.
Or you're bouncing out to the 8. You're very rarely bouncing back because we almost did. It was funny because I was talking to.
Well, to me, it seems like
the bucket step. The bucket step of we actually had to drop step and get our head across. You had to go basically to that hole because if you didn't, it would screw everything up. So, it just, to me, it feels like a lot of NFL blocking today is take them where they want to go. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, there's no doubt.
And we'll let the running back find his way through there. And that's where I would worry if that is a little bit of, which is down the road of the zone scheme. If that's where you're going, is he in a hurry to get to where the hole's supposed to be? Because I think that was part of Isaiah Pacheco's problem.
That and his injuries. His injuries just
they did.
He just never bounced. He never bounced back for those injuries.
All right, one more with Tim Grunhard, football insider, life coach, grandpa. Yep, all of it. He's brought to you by the Plumbing Pro. Grunny's with us. Tim Grunhard, Chiefs Hall of Fame center. Don't spend your Saturdays making trip after trip after trip to the hardware store trying to chase that simple plumbing fix. Let the plumbing pro do it for you.
Yeah.
I know. I spent like 6 hours trying to fix a toilet one day. I think I finally got it fixed. But what a disaster. I mean, let me tell you something. I rewrote the book on profanity, wasted a ton of time. It was awful. Call the plumbing pro.
You couldn't get that little thing to float to the top, could you?
I was screwing around with something on the flushing mechanism or something.
The flushing mechanism is the most frustrating thing.
And let me tell you.
And I don't want to put my hand in that toilet water. I know it's
the top is fine.
I know, but I just don't.
Come on.
I'm kind of a wuss that way.
What's going on at your house?
It's not. If it's in your toilet, I don't care if it's the top or the bottom. It's not something I want to put my hand in.
We're not drinking it.
Are they doing this?
The problem. Here's the other problem. Going to the big box hardware store and finding somebody to accurately give you what you need. Yeah. Good luck.
It's like the commercial, right?
Good luck.
You've seen those commercials.
What's that?
Hang them up and say, yeah, they're looking for some flooring or something. That's not my department. I'm, I'm in sales. Or, it is hard.
It's been going down the toilet since you know when.
Hey,
yeah,
I like that.
You know when? You know when it started going down the toilet?
No.
1987.
Okay.
Because I worked at a hardware store as a cashier, and every now and then they'd be like, "You got to go cover plumbing." I'm like, "I don't know anything."
Were
about
you working
plumbing.
at a big box store?
You got to
Or
go
you
cover
working at a
electrical.
local?
Are you kidding me? No, it wasn't a big. They didn't have those then.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I'm like,
were you working
you
at
lost your mind
in Corinth Square?
I'm not going to tell you where I was working.
Yes, you were.
I know. I'm not answering. I'm not going to tell you where I was.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you where I was. I quit when they told me to clean the toilet for the second time in a week. I was like,
I worked at Walgreens in high school. I had to mop the floor every night. That wasn't very fun.
Would you? Are you the pharmacist?
I was not the pharmacist.
Stricter rules now back in the pharmacy department.
They didn't have
I
Walgreens
dabbled in
here when you were in high school.
pharmaceuticals.
Wow!
But I wasn't a pharmacist.
We had a question earlier. Testing positive for PEDs.
Yeah, there was no testing back then.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
now there is.
So
speaking of,
was that an admission of guilt I just heard there?
It might have been.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I'm an open book.
What's your? I'm just going to run from that. What's your least favorite pick?
I don't know. I'm not sold on the Peter Woods kid. I'm just not sold on him. Just not. Everybody's like he's going to come in. Everybody's going to stop double teaming Chris Jones because he's going to be penetrating gaps and blah blah blah. I think it's a good pick. I'm just not sold yet. This is showing me. Say, show me. I want to see this kid in there dominating early, like everybody thinks he's going to, and then not making a lot of good fiscal decisions right now.
I've heard some people say that they're not sure that it isn't like a car. He's going to do ads for it, and that the cars
maybe
are the payments. So
okay.
I agree. If he went out and wrote a check for $250,000 for getting his, because I think those cars are like $125 each.
Yeah.
If he dropped $250 on a couple of cars before he even got his first paycheck,
he's not making a lot of good decisions. Financially.
Yes. I would also wonder, like, could you have had a different? If they were, as you said they were, you probably could have still found something a little cheaper to spend that allotment on. And
did they need basic
money?
Transportation? Because like if what they needed was basic transportation, I'm not sure that I start with the Maserati.
No, not starting with that. I'm rooting for the kid. I want him to do well, but I'm not sure if he's going to be the big splash everybody thinks he's going to be. That's probably my only little beef. I don't have many beefs with it. Listen, good luck to everybody. Congratulations.
Do you think the Maserati is a cheap repair?
Oh, probably.
Oil changes, no problem.
I promise you,
$19.99.
If you're pulling into the curb and you ding that rim, it's going to cost you. It is going to cost you. Little dings in those rims are going to cost you.
On the internet all the time, it's Maserati only, $19.95 oil change. It's one of the more popular coupons out
I just
there.
mean like if you want to help someone, like they don't have transportation. Like I saw there was a great story about this guy was he was a janitor and he was a huge fan of the volleyball team, and he was always cheering the volleyball team while he was doing his work and everything.
They
and
bought him a Maserati?
No, they bought him he needed a car. He couldn't get to and from work. It was hard, and they chipped in and got him a car. They did not get him a Maserati. They got him a car that'll be easy to repair and easy to take care of.
There's no Maseratis in this spot right here. I promise you that.
Those definitely aren't ours.
No Maseratis.
All right, what Royals pitcher has allowed the most career home runs to the Athletics? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Wednesday. Our thanks to Tim Grunhard joining us in our last hour. We'll talk some more Chiefs football coming up Seth Kaiser will break down the tape. We'll get his thoughts on the Chiefs draft. That's coming up here shortly.
Talking football and our first cars and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Stuff like that. You know, it's what dudes do when we get together. We talk about cars and stuff.
We were talking about that. We'll talk about soccer and analytics at the Linda Hall Library. That's coming up a week from tomorrow, May 7th. We will be there broadcasting live. If you register for the talk, these have been great. Everyone has loved them. Done baseball, done football, and with the World Cup in town, we're doing soccer. If you register before May 4th, you could win the preferred seating, the VIP package, preferred seating, pre-lecture reception with apps and drinks, free apps and drinks, by the way, meet and greet and mingle with the panelists. It is a great event. You'll learn all about soccer, how it's evolving, how it's changing in the world of analytics. You can have all kinds of panelists that are experts in that. How's data changing things? It's the perfect primer, perfect get ready for the World Cup that is coming right around the corner. So if you're a lifelong soccer fan, just curious about the World Cup, just interested in how math and analytics and soccer collide, you will love it. The Linda Hall Library is a great spot. Get your tickets right now. Go to lindahall.org. That's lindahall.org. Like I said, register by May 4th to be automatically registered to win that VIP experience with the Linda Hall Library. And it's great. That VIP is a lot of fun. So get registered for that today. All right, let's start with a little Matt Quatrero. Some we haven't heard yet today. Let's talk about the pitching for the Kansas City Royals, giving up only one run last night. Quatrero said the pitching was good all night.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to Chris, I mean, he worked hard. They make you work. I mean, you can get ahead of them, but it's hard to put them away. And just to limit them to one run is extremely impressive. But, especially, Schreiber had a good inning. Then Lynch had a really good inning, and Strom had to work the hardest, getting first and third, nobody out, a big strikeout there, one out and a big strikeout there, and then obviously Lucas too. I mean, they made you work. I think each of those guys threw 20 plus pitches after once Lynch came in, so those are tough innings.
He's right. They are tough innings. Mm-hmm. And Chris Bubich wasn't vintage Chris Bubich, as he gave up 8 base runners in 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 walks, allowed just the 1 run though. Did strike out 6. Keeping the strikeouts up, but the walks are up a little bit this year.
A lot of pitches, 27 or 28 pitches in the first inning. Knew he wasn't going to pitch. He wasn't going 8 last night. They really made him work.
Well, isn't that what Quatrero just said?
It is. Can I repeat what's said?
Sure.
Sorry, we'll never do that again.
Available tonight out of the bullpen should be everybody, but probably not Strom. With 26 pitches last night, I think he won't be up. Daniel Lynch probably not with 20. Urseg had 23. He's gone 3 of the last 5, but had a day off in between. Could be interesting. Who's available out of the bullpen?
Be nice just not need him.
Yeah. Like you said, I think that was kind of in the back of his head. It's like, well, they made you work. I think we're going to see Mason Black tonight. He hasn't pitched for 3 days, so I think one way or the other, the first guy out of the pen will probably be Mason Black tonight. But 3 out of 5 for Mears, 3 out of 5 for Urseg. Daniel Lynch has gone 3 out of 5. He had a 5-pitch and 9-pitch on Friday and Saturday. Didn't pitch Sunday or Monday, so maybe he comes back, but I think they'd probably like to stay away from that.
Yeah.
This would be a nice night to get some length.
8, 4, 1, 1, 3, 8.
That would be the line score you're looking for from.
Yeah, I'll take that, Michael Walker.
Tonight's starter. It would be nice.
It would work.
It would be nice. It would be helpful. There's no doubt about that. All right, more from Matt Quatrero after last night's game. Asked about the high pitch count. Curtis said they made Bubich work.
I think it's more on them. I mean, I'm sure he would like to have a little bit sharper command, but they make you work. I mean, he was ahead of a lot of guys, and they just kept fouling balls off, and that's not unique to Chris. I mean, they've been doing that all year. It's hard to put him away, but I'm sure that he's not going to be happy with the walks, but to limit them to 1 run over 5+, that's impressive.
50 pitches the first 2 innings.
I mean,
and there were two strikes on 4 of the 6 batters he faced in the first, and 3 of the 5 he faced in the second. So I don't know if he was ahead. He was certainly ahead on at least 3 of them.
Do we have a lineup yet for tonight?
I've not seen that yet.
I mean,
I'd bet we're at about that time.
About that time. We're at the West Coast game, 8:40 start, so a little bit later on when those lineups come out. Vinny Pasquantino, we're not expecting to be in the lineup. He left the game early. Back tightness, and something that Matt Quatrero, we played earlier, said that he's kind of been dealing with all along. So we'll see if when we get that lineup, what they do. Michael Massey entered the game, and they moved Nick Lofton over to first base, right? That was the move that they made last night. I want to double-check that.
Yeah, Lofton
Massey
was at first. Yeah.
And then Lofton moved over from second to first, and Massey played second. So Nick Lofton, Salvador Perez, Jack Caglione. Is there a reason why we're not? Jack Caglione can't put a first baseman's mitt on?
Here we go. The lineup is out.
Okay. Perfect timing.
And it is Garcia, Witt, Jensen behind the plate, Perez at first.
Okay.
Massey, Collins, Caglione, and a DH. Thomas and right is Bell in center. Garcia, Witt, Jensen, Perez, Massey, Collins, Caglione, Thomas, Isbell.
Waka versus Severino tonight. The Royals, a -120 favorite. Severino's got an ERA over 5, I believe, coming into this. So this would be a nice one for the Royals to go ahead and pick up.
Very much so. Keep the.
They're
trend.
not favored though. Sacramento is favored -120. Luis Severino's supposed to be better than his ERA, but
yeah,
Michael Waka's clearly been the better pitcher this year.
Yep. But keep it rolling. Then you go into a day game tomorrow and thinking, well, let's go for the sweep. And then a nice, another happy plane ride to Seattle.
That would be nice.
Would be very nice. You can't sweep if you don't win too. So let's just keep the train going.
The Red Sox have placed ace Garrett Crochet on the 15-day disabled list with inflammation in his pitching shoulder. The latest early season setback for their star left-hander. Things are going well there in Boston.
No, not really.
The problem is Alex Corey. You got to get rid of that guy.
Clearly.
They get rid of that guy.
I mean, all kinds of teams are looking to hire him.
You know, I think they're all set.
Man, I did not read that one properly.
What's
I
that?
think I had them winning the East.
Oh.
I did too, yeah.
That did not work.
I think I still had the Blue Jays, didn't I? I think I had the Red Sox out. I'm going to go with that.
You had Toronto.
I think I had Blue Jays 1, Yankees 2. Or maybe I had the Red Sox 2 and the Yankees out. I thought I was being crafty with one of them being out. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. So,
well, firing the manager in April always leads to a run to the postseason, right?
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Am I the only one who just loves the first round of the NBA and NHL playoffs? That I've got multiple games. Like I can't stress enough that the NCAA tournament, the fact that we might have 2 blowouts, but when there's 2 other games on,
yes,
you can usually find something good. That's part of why the tournament's so great, because you're not subject. We get later on, and it's just one game, and it's an ass kicking. And there's been plenty of them in the NBA, and it's or a 3-0 start in a hockey game. I know we got a great comeback last night or 2 nights ago, with the Mammoth coming back on the Golden Knights. They were down 3-0, the Mammoth. Led 4-3, lost 5-4 in overtime ultimately. That was a great game. Usually a hockey game gets to 3-0.
Yeah.
And NBA games have been lots of snoozes. But when you have 2 going at all times, you got a chance.
Yeah.
We've got basically a lot of times this time of year we got 4 games. We got 2 hockey, 2 NBA games. You know, hopefully your baseball team's not out of it. You got your baseball team. We got a ton of stuff to watch. I love this time of year. But we're going to get to the next round. We got half as many games. So we'll have some nights with 2 games, but it's usually an early and a late. Like right now they're stacking them where they overlap. And so it's like, well, this game's gone to hell. Let's go watch this one. Okay, Knicks and Hawks are getting separated. I'm over to I don't even remember what was the late game last night. Or maybe I'm even thinking about 2 nights ago. I can't even remember. But, you know, you've got other series. Spurs, Blazers, that was a dog.
Yeah,
but
1495. And the thing is, they've played 36 games so far in the first round of the NHL playoffs.
NHL?
Stanley Cup.
I just want to make sure, when you say that, I thought you might mean NBA.
Oh, no, the NHL playoffs. And 9 have gone to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's a quarter. 9 others have been a 1-goal game. So half the games have
been tight right down to the end.
Have been a 1-goal
And I think
margin
there's a
at the end.
couple of them in there that were 1-goal games that they pulled the goalie and there was empty net goals.
Yeah,
so it's actually, I think, even more than that.
Yeah, there's a 4-2, a 3-1. And there's only been 1 or 2 games that have been right down to the edge. Every night, the first 3 games in the Tampa Bay-Montreal series went to overtime, and the 4th game was 3-2. That's been a fantastic series. There have been 2 sweeps, but everything else has been fantastic. You got Pittsburgh coming from 3-0 to force Game 6. Teams keep answering. Boston stayed alive night before last or last night, but
yeah, they did.
It's been fantastic. Edmonton stayed alive.
Yep.
I really want the Oilers to win the West.
I do too.
Although
but Connor McDavid, I don't think is healthy, and so I don't think it's going to happen.
No, probably not. Utah
he's playing, but he's not 100%.
Utah is a team I can kind of get behind. It's just kind of cool. Utah. I'm not usually a new team, but Utah sounds like a place where there would be hockey because there's snow. I kind of like the idea of the Utah Mammoth.
I do too.
I do not.
The Utah Yeti would have been even better,
yes.
but
but I have no time for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. That's just like
none.
I don't like any warm weather hockey team. Forget
Agreed. And the fact that you just stole the Army logo,
yes,
kind of irks me.
Yes.
And the fact that you got a championship in your 5th year, 6th year, whatever it was,
just brutal.
Bite ass. I don't need to see anything out of Vegas. Speaking of the games tonight, Pistons 10.5-point favorites at home against the Magic. Pistons are the 1 seed. They're down 3-1 in this series. That's a disaster. Raptors and Cavs. Cavs are 9.5-point favorites. Is that the 2-7 or 3-6?
Which one? That's Cavs and Raptors. 4-5.
4-5.
Yeah, Cleveland's the 4.
Yeah, Cavs 9.5-point favorites on that one. Rockets at Lakers. Lakers just a 4.5-point favorite. They go to close this one out. They're up 3-1 on the Rockets. That's the late game in the NBA on the ice. Canadians at Lightning. That one is 2-2. Penguins at Flyers. That one is 3-2 Flyers. Penguins trying to send it to a Game 7 tonight. And Mammoth at Knights. They're 2-2. That is at 9. Utah at Vegas. NFL news. No, actually, let's hear. I want to do Victor Wembanyama. This is Charles Barkley talking about
it's actually
Shaq. I'm sorry, Shaq. It'd help if I'd read the lead in. Shaq saying that Wemby is one of a kind.
I think Wemby is the first perfect. I think Wemby is the first perfect big man that's ever created. Can shoot, free throws, play defense, play offense. He's a great team player. I'm happy for the Spurs. I'm happy for Wendy, and for me, in a long time. He's a joy to watch. I don't usually, enjoy the big man how they play now, but he plays it so perfectly. I actually accept the way he plays. So if he wants to shoot jumpers, I'm fine with him. But to me, he's like the perfect big man.
Perfect big man. Well, his little gravelly. I know Shaq got a deep voice.
I don't think Shaq minds getting out and about.
No, it's probably not.
He's also 400 pounds and 7'1", so there's a reason why I might have invested in a Shaq jersey not long ago.
Even in a sport filled with giant people, he's a giant person.
I hope Shaq lives to be 100.
I hope he does too, because
he's
by
so
all
large.
accounts, he is the nicest person in the history of professional sports.
I got
Everyone
sent a TikTok or an Instagram thing or something where I can't remember where he was, but he put his hood up and sunglasses on. Now I don't know if the camera crew was subtle. If they had a big camera crew, it'd make it obvious. But he's like, let's see how long it takes somebody to recognize me. And he walks across the street, turns, he crosses the street and turns to go down the street. First guy. What's up, Shaq? Oh, he knows me. How he knows me? Oh, you're a walking mountain?
You're 7'2", 400 pounds.
I mean, he's all right, we'll try it again. And he walks like, he gets done. And he took pictures like 8 people once he got stopped. Then everybody comes running over. And then they get it. Okay, they go to another spot. And he's, hey, Shaq!
He's just a gigantic kid.
But then he smiles and there's other people like Michael Jordan don't want to talk to no one.
No.
I mean, no one.
Shaq's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Any kids, he's always on the sidelines. He's always letting kids do stuff and hang out. And
yeah.
Although I do love the fact that I think he was the one that said, You know, are your kids rich? Or maybe was it Barkley that said, "No, I'm rich. My kids are not gonna." Was that Barkley that did that? One of those.
That sounds like a Barkley.
Yeah. No, I got money. You don't have money. I have money.
His other famous one is, I don't have a college degree, but a lot of people that got them working for me.
That is such a great pairing. That's the reason why that show is so fun to watch. Mostly because of those two. Ernie would probably be the third favorite, and Kenny's just kind of there for Charles Barkley to make fun of.
They could. I like Jalen Rose. I wouldn't mind if Jalen Rose took that seat.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jalen Rose is good, very good. So I wouldn't mind Jalen Rose grabbing that seat. I don't have anything against Kenny, but Kenny states takes a long time to state the obvious sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like, get to it. Come on.
Which is why I love when Barkley just pokes his balloon.
He'll often tell Kenny. He used to tell it to Kevin Garnett when Garnett was on there, but he'll go, this is only half an hour show, right?
Well, you'll hear if we play the clip from Tyron Stokes. He has a dig because to set this up. If you didn't see it, there was a couple boxes. One of the boxes
they were doing a reveal of where Tyron Stokes was going to go,
and he's in the middle between them. They're in their usual setup, and he had what eventually was the NBA or NCAA 2026 or wherever the game, and he's going to unwrap it and show that it's him on the front in a Kansas jersey. That was the reveal, but it took him a long time to get that package opened. He was really struggling getting the wrapping off the package, and that's kind of what you hear in this clip. Are we playing it now? I just set it up. Might as well, right?
Dynamite throw there.
Yeah.
Here is the announcement that Kurtis just referenced from Tyron Stokes.
You know who's in there?
Nah, it's like a gender reveal, kind of,
Okay. Don't worry about it. In the future, you have so much money, you can get somebody on the wrap stuff for you.
But with that being said, taking my talents to University of Kansas University.
Oh!
Rock chalk, man. Rock chalk, you feel me? Rock chalk. Coach Bill Self, great coach.
Great person, too.
Great person, He's been there from the beginning. He's always fed into me, He's gave me great advice, through the entire process. I just want to say thank you to the university. Rock Chalk Nation just giving me the opportunity to go in the Allen Fieldhouse and just, leave my mark. I'm ready to go put on the show. And,
all right, let's move that over. Let's get there. There it is,
I'm there.
You can make enough money, you can get the people to unwrap things for you. If one guy was going to say that in all of sports, it would have been Charles Barkley.
By the way, there is I can't get the link. I know you sent it to me, Kyle. I want to reference the
the athletic story.
Yeah, the author.
Lindsey Schnell.
It's not C.J. Moore. He does a great job. You hear him a lot of times. Is Lindsey Schnell?
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Lindsey Schnell. I'll tweet it out here in a minute. If you follow me at Soren Petro. She did a great story kind of on the background of Tyron Stokes. He's had some moments that aren't great. By that, I'm not talking about like he was arrested. I'm just saying like arguing with his coach on the sideline, arguing with players on the court, letting his guy go down the court and score, some things like that. And she does a great job of contextualizing that. And that he basically says like, yeah, I've been dealing with a lot. I think his mom had him, single parent mom, and she was, I want to get this age right. She was very young when she had him, is the point. And I don't want to overstate it.
What, the door thing?
Well, no, he did that when he was
6.
Yeah, when he was 6. I know that, but how old she was when she had him, and it's just been it's just him and his mom, and she tells a great story that at 6 years old, like in here we go. At his Stokes credit, he doesn't shy away from blunt questions. In December, I asked about the narrative that he has a bad attitude. He didn't scoff, but answered thoughtfully. I'm still a kid growing up, still trying to figure out life, Stokes said. Off the court, I'm going through stuff. I'm trying to figure that out, how to manage things. He's got a temper. I'm just going to tell you, be ready for that. But he sounds like a kid who didn't like, well, you don't know me. He said, okay, yeah, I'm working on it. I got things. I thought that was pretty impressive. Anyway, it's a really good piece detailing his whole kind of where he is. I mean, it's not an hour-long read.
No.
I love Wright Thompson, but it's not a Wright Thompson 44-minute special. Wright's a great writer, but he does. You strap yourself in. You make sure you got a sandwich and a beverage, and it's a couple rolls of toilet paper to get through some of Wright Thompson's stuff. It's great. I encourage you to read anything Wright writes. Wright Thompson writes. Let's say that better. But this is not 2 minutes, but it's really good, especially if you're a Kansas fan. I think you'll like it. Now, when Tyron was 6, Kiera, Kiera, which is his mom, went outside to grab something from the car. Tyron, hearing a door latch, figured his mom had gone to bed for the night. He went around the house, locking all the doors and windows, and locking Kiera out in the process. With Tyron conked out, Kiera banged on the door and windows. When Tyron finally woke up and let her in, he explained that he thought he was the last person up, and it was his job to keep them safe.
That's pretty darn cool.
I mean, he was 6 years old, and he was taking on the role of the man of the house.
The man.
So
very admirable.
We see people, and somebody's a jerk or somebody's a hero. Turns out they're probably, they might be all of that, or they might be some of that, or most of that, but they're not all of that. And complicated people. This story does a nice job of relating the fact that, the kind of the layers that go to this kid. So I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if somebody's going like, oh, they hired another guy who's going to be a pain in the ass, or they signed another guy who's going to be a pain in the ass, from the surface, that's a fair analysis. He has been a pain in the ass at times. But I like reading the story because it seems to speak to the fact that he knows that, okay, I haven't made all the choices. I'm still trying to figure it out. And that I've got hope for that kid.
Sure.
And she says over and over, the mom, Kiera, says, he wants to be coached hard. He wants somebody, he's looking, he wants to get better and he wants to be coached hard. Because you're like, well, how's this going to go with Bill Self? Because he'll light some people up. Like, are we going to just watch him storm off the court, taking his jersey off and throwing it in the stands?
Yeah, like I made
the second conference game.
I made $6.9 million in NIL.
Yeah, like what's the deal here? Or it sounds like no, because she talks about Jamal Crawford was actually his, I don't know if it was AAU coach or high school coach. I'd have to go back and look at it closer, but he benched him, and the kid didn't leave. He could have left.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't leave. No, I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying there are lots of kids that would have. And then he went into the game later when he was put in the game, and so it's interesting. It's a good read. I'll tweet it out a little bit later.
And also say that unlike last year, it was just Peterson was the big. And now Talon Kenny is not the heralded player that Stokes is, but he is a McDonald's All-American. So they two young kids coming in that are dynamic players. So he won't have to shoulder all the burden to the degree that it seemed like Peterson was going to have to last year. Who becomes the Melvin Council on this team? Who becomes the Trey White of this team? I don't know, but
hopefully it's neither one of them.
Yeah, hopefully it's those.
And they can be the freshmen.
Yeah, right.
That's.
No, I mean, who outside of the freshman takes on that veteran role?
Yeah,
becomes it. I don't know who that's going to be.
Might
They've
be
got
Cole Rosario at this point.
Could be.
Yeah,
Paul and Bia.
I mean, let's hope. All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk Chiefs draft picks with Seth Kaiser next here in the program. Yes, let's talk some football here in the program. Seth Kaiser's appearance brought to you by our friends at Hen House. If you're stocking up for a big cookout, get back to the grill. Only place you can find USDA Choice Certified Hereford beef. It's back at the meat counter at your neighborhood Hen House. The freshest, best-tasting chicken as well. Raised in Ozark Mountain Country. Check it out. Great specials on that right now. Go to henhouse.com to find all these specials and more. And I know we got the grad parties coming up. So if you need those party trays, the delicatessen, absolute home runs with everything from sushi trays to veggie trays to meat trays, meat and cheese trays. They got it all. Make sure you go check out the delicatessen. You can do it online at henhouse.com. Let's welcome Seth Kaiser to the program. Seth, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very, very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I like your headline from yesterday. It's on Andy Reid's shoulders to fix the Chiefs offense by his choice. I think that's pretty accurate. We've been talking about, it's pretty clear based upon how they've drafted and such that they feel like, all right, we're going to be better. We need better talent on defense. We need different coaching on offense. Tell me about why you are putting this on Andy Reid's shoulders.
Well, when you look at the choices that they've made this offseason, and the draft just kind of solidified it, was kind of the finalization of it. If you think about it, when you include trades, the Chiefs used their first 6 draft picks on defense. That's an incredible investment on that side of the ball. More than even like 2022, right? Because in 22 they drafted Sky Moore in the second round. It's an unbelievable investment, especially when you consider that you're talking 2 first-round picks, you're talking a second-round pick, you're talking a third-round pick, that they traded away. I mean, an incredible amount of resources dedicated to the defensive side of the ball. And then when you look at the offseason, while the Kenneth Walker signing obviously generated the most headlines, and I understand that, and that's obviously a big move, for sure. But when you look at the majority of their signings, they signed Walker, and then another running back who may or may not, be part of it. The David Johnson pick's an interesting one. And then they sign, a safety, a nose tackle, a slot corner. They focus primarily on the defensive side of the ball, and maybe appropriately so. You and I have talked about how terrible the third down defense was last year, that kind of thing. And so with the choices they've made is to essentially on offense run it back with a different running back room, which, to be fair, is a big deal, right? They had arguably the worst running back room in the league last year. But what they're saying inherently, knowing that Andy Reid has never prioritized the run game, and then, at the end of the season, they said some stuff about the run game, which I think was intentional. You see them clean house with the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, not the defensive side of the ball, just the offensive side of the ball. And so what you see there is that's them saying this isn't a personnel issue, right? This is them saying it's not that we need an X wide receiver who can beat man coverage, because they had guys they could have picked to do that. They had multiple guys they could have grabbed, and not just even at the beginning of the first round. They were within striking range of Casey Concepcion, who has great film winning one-on-one against man coverage. They had ways they could have gone. They had free agents they could have signed. Instead, they used the money to bring back Travis Kelce, bring back Tyquan Thornton, both moves that I like. And that really is saying, if the run game's better, and the offense is always going to revolve around the passing game with Andy Reid, make no mistake. But if the run game's better and the coaching's better, the offense will be good. And that means that it really is on Andy Reid, because yes, changing up the running back matters a ton, especially when it's that sizable an upgrade. But the pass game is what everything revolves around. And they had opportunities to add talent to the offensive side of the ball and chose largely to just run it back. So that is openly saying, no, this was a coaching issue. And then by turning over, multiple major components of the offensive staff, you're saying they were not implementing things appropriately or coaching it appropriately, whatever it is. And that means you're saying that this group of guys, I can make this work. I can make this a good offense. And, it hasn't just come right out and said it, but Andy can fix this. And that's the statement that's given by not upgrading at tight end 2, or not moving a different direction there, by not even upgrading right tackle. That was the big smoke screen. By not upgrading wide receiver, you're saying no, I can fix this. And fair enough, right? You get a shot to do it, but now you've cleaned up the offensive staff. You parted ways with multiple people, including your offensive coordinator, and you chose. And I think this is a really interesting aspect here. Let's say Andy Reid had shocked everyone and grabbed Mike McDaniel, right? And gone this completely different route in terms of offensive design for his offensive coordinator. Then you could make an argument that, the blending of it didn't really work, or whatever, if things don't work out. By bringing in Eric Bieniemy, a guy who isn't known for having his own system, is an Andy Reid product, Andy Reid disciple. Good coach, but he's not known for having his own system like McDaniel is, or even like Kingsbury or someone. That's him saying, I need people who can implement my vision, and the players I have are good enough to implement my vision. So that's a long road to a short stop, but it really is. He's had every opportunity to change the offense around after a pretty crummy year, after 3 straight years of subpar returns on the offensive side of the ball. There's no more excuses left, barring catastrophic injuries. So it does come down to it's Andy Reid saying, I can do this, which means he's got to do it.
I couldn't have said it better. That is, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that's what the statement is. And, the one thing I would object to, and Kurtis made a good point on this earlier, I don't know if I was last couple of days, that, they had so many needs. Had they gone wide receiver, tackle, edge, and then everything else the same, we'd be like, I can't believe you didn't get to the D tackle in the corner. Right? Like no matter what they didn't get to, we were going to be making note. They did not take this. So you said they had opportunities. Yes, they did. They could have taken Jordan Tyson. They could have taken Carnell Tate.
Especially once they moved up and lost 2 picks.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, but they did make the decision to move up and, lose 2 more picks, which actually I'm going to make this 14 and not 13. But this is what they've been doing for years. And this is where I think it might, you might see some Aaron Rodgers fatigue out of Patrick Mahomes. You might see some Tom Brady fatigue out of Patrick Mahomes. Do you know what their top 120 picks that are in the top 120 since 22? Do you know what the breakdown is? Offense and defense? 6 on offense, 14 on defense.
That sounds about right.
Now, I've cherry-picked starting with that 22 draft where they drafted all defensive backs and finishing with a draft where we know that their biggest departures were on the defensive side of the ball. So that is a cherry-picked, way to do it, all right? But you lop off either end of that, and it's still heavy on the defense, okay? So, it's still reality. It magnifies the point by putting 22 and 26 in there, but even if you take one side of that off, it's still 10-6, okay? 11-6, something along those lines. So, I think at some point, I get the head coach. I think a lot of coaches do this. They're always drafting for the other side of the ball with the idea that I'll just take care of my side. I can do better on my side. But at some point, Patrick Mahomes, the phrase that I hear that just drives me crazy is, Pat's proven he doesn't need a number 1 receiver to win. You're right. He has proven it. And you know what? We've all proven we can lift something heavy and get it into the house, but we don't carry it around on our back every day.
I've proven people have proven they can walk to work, but you have a car.
Yeah.
I proved that my wife will stay with me when I'm 60 pounds overweight, but maybe that doesn't mean that I should stay at that weight. You know what I mean? Just because you're able to do something on hard mode doesn't mean that that's the ideal way to do it. That's I bet I could make it through this court hearing with my ears plugged, just guessing what the judge wants me to say. Well, maybe if you've been practicing long enough, but that doesn't make it ideal. And so I absolutely agree with that. And then the problem becomes, for me, and I think you hit the nail on the head, a lot of coaches, I can make this work. And that's great, because ideally, if you're coaching that side of the ball, that's what you're supposed to do. Great. But then at a certain point, it has to actually happen. And so 2026, we've had 3 straight years in a row of the Chiefs' offense being average to above average. Everyone likes to talk about, by efficiency stats, they're top 10, which makes them sound better because it's like, like ninth, or like 10th. But if you're not finishing drives, you're not scoring. And honestly, an offense with Patrick Mahomes and an offensive guru, I mean, that should be the floor. So they really do need to. You can't have that happen 4 years in a row, especially when you've made a statement that it's not a personnel issue, because that's what got the blame every other year, right? There's a personnel issue.
Yeah.
Wide receivers are an issue. That left tackle fiasco is the issue. I mean, I gave a pass in 23 and 24. But then 25 happened, and you know what? They had enough health for multiple games that it really wasn't a health issue.
Yeah, well, and that's where also I feel like to your point, we're good offensively. We're ninth, okay. Well, but you have the number one quarterback, so that means if you're ninth, if we all believe, and I don't think they're going to say he's anything but number one. If we all believe you're the number one quarterback, then that means the coaching and the talent around him are like 30th, okay, or 20th each. If they're each one part of it, like if you say quarterback's worth 33%, coaching's 33%, the rest of the rest of the offensive roster's 33%. Okay, well you finished 10th, so everybody else dragged him. I mean, you finished 21st, really, when it was all said and done. But even when you were humming along in your mind, you were 10th. Which meant you were a parachute behind the guy,
and that's what's got to get looked at. And those are the really honest questions that there's just no way of knowing what's being asked behind closed doors and what isn't. But that is, at a certain point. And I really do. I'm so curious what the conversations are like, because I can really easily understand why these conversations would not have been had for years. I wrote weeks ago that the Chiefs have basically had two kinds of off seasons during the Brett Veach and Patrick Mahomes era. There's been we have to blow up something, right? Like, so after 2018, they blew up the defense, right? After the offensive line fiasco in 2020, they had to blow up the offensive line. They've had to blow up the defense kind of again and completely rebuild it after 2021. They've all had to do something like major, right? Like a huge overhaul. Or they've tried to run it back. Like that was the famous motto after 2019. Well, they've kind of tried to run it back multiple seasons in a row, and you can see why. You won a Super Bowl, then you repeated and established yourself as a dynasty, and you got closer to a three-peat than anyone in history has done. It's really easy to talk yourself into, well, the results, man. Look at these results, and that's a hard thing to combat against. Now the results kind of stunk, and it'll be really interesting to see what those conversations look like, and we really won't know, is the funny part, until mid-September, late September?
Well, what I thought was interesting here, and we might have to have you back on, Seth, because we're going to run out of time here, and I'm not even getting to the damn picks. But the idea of, well, we lost these players, we got to replace them, which I get it. But Pat'll just make up for all the shortcomings. But on defense, we got to immediately address every situation. Now, I do agree defense is a no holes side of the ball. I think it definitely is the weak link. Like, offenses are good enough that they'll pick on it. But even more reason why you don't necessarily have to have the number one corner, right? Like, I don't mind the pick. I mean, I think there's a lottery. I want to be clear, and I don't even mind the trade up that much. I still don't think I would have done it. I would love to have known what you could have gotten if you had accepted future picks and fallen all the way back into the 20s. Because if you went all the way back into the 20s and took the second best corner and then still got Peter Woods, and you picked up like a third this year and a next year's first, or a next year's second and third, and you ended up then with having your 25, 29, 40, 74, 78, and then next year you've got, and I think they're going to have an extra third anyway, but just say off your normal thing, 2 seconds and 2/3. Now you're getting the ammunition you need to make sure you don't have any weaknesses. And so where on offense, I think it would be really nice to put a Jamar Chase. Now I think the other defense for it is there's no Jamar Chase in this draft, right? There's no, and I know Justin Jefferson didn't go that high. They didn't think Justin Jefferson was Justin Jefferson. But there doesn't appear to be a true, no doubter number one wideout in this draft. Right. And I think that influenced what they did as well. But I mean, I can't say they should have done that, because I can't say that anybody in the 20s wanted to give up any kind of price. But I do know if you're willing to take future picks, teams are usually willing to splash those around.
Yes, definitely. Well, everyone, a lot of GMs, they especially guys, that are picking like in those mid-20s. Some of them, or like low 20s. Some of them, they're not too sure, right? Like, it's not like the guys at the very end of the draft, like the Howie Rosemans of the world that, they've got a ton of job security. So they're thinking about this year a lot of the time because, they got one more year to take that leap or whatever. I would have liked to see that. I do wonder, like, what the entire demeanor of the league was in terms of trading stuff away, like picks this year for picks next year. Because next year's draft, and everyone always does this, but this year it seems actually true, it seems like a lot of people are really excited about next year's draft. I would have liked to see that strategy. I like what you had to say, like, Delane, now that I've looked at his film, I get it.
Yeah.
I think you've got a guy there that's like, we think he can be an elite boundary corner. Okay. I mean, man, that's a great thing to have on your defense. And then when they took a couple of defensive linemen with the next couple picks, I started to breathe a little easier because I was panicking, let me tell you. But I do agree that it's an interesting process, but by doing it, it really does say, hey, we've got the juice for a good offense, a really good offense, without doing anything else. And that's where, okay, but that to me, that lands squarely on Andy Reid. That is that you've had an above average to average offense, however you want to frame it, for 3 straight years with a metahuman at quarterback, with Travis Kelce, with last year. I mean, you've got on paper you've got a good offensive line. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. Neither of them have shown to be like a number one receiver, but it's not like they're talentless. There's really no excuses. And, even more so if it's going to be stuff that looks schematic in nature that's problematic. What's their plan for match coverage this year? What's their plan to beat quarters? This is all stuff that it really is on Andy. And if the results on offense are similar, I think it's time to have a tough conversation because how many, 4 years is a long time.
Yeah. Peter Woods, I know you did a breakdown. We're talking to Seth Kaiser here in the program. He seems to run the gamut from one of the best picks of the draft to what a disappointment he was last year. This is a reach. Sure. Where do you put him?
I would lean more towards the former than the latter. What I think people, when they talk about Peter Woods, don't talk about enough. Everyone wants to talk about the juxtaposition between 2024 and 2025, right? Because heading out of 2024, everyone's like he's going to be a top 5 pick. No question about it. Maybe the best player in the draft. 2025, people are pretty disappointed that there wasn't like another step forward. That he didn't maintain. I know he had a new defensive coordinator, and I'm curious about their pass rush plan, honestly, because he wasn't attacking as often. It was kind of interesting looking. But what's interesting to me is people forget that, he had a ton of accolades as a freshman in 2023. So he's been good for a number of years, and I think that gets lost a little bit in the 2024 versus 2025 discussion. I really like that pick at 29. His traits are just not traits that you're generally going to find at 29. A guy with his kind of upper body power and movement combined, that's just not something you generally find. It's just a matter of how consistent can he be, and it's not a talent issue, and it doesn't seem like a motor issue. I love he really has all the tools to be an unbelievable pass rusher. And was already a good run defender in college, and it's just really about getting consistency with his hands. And that's where, and I don't know, how Chris Jones is with other guys in the locker room in terms of walking them through, this is hand usage movement. I don't think most guys can imitate what Chris does because he's such a unique athlete and he's so powerful. But who's also about 300 pounds and a really unique athlete and freakishly strong? Peter Woods. So I think it's a great place to land to talk to a guy like Chris Jones, who also had incredibly high ceiling snaps in college, but wasn't terribly consistent.
Yeah, that's a great point. I said it like, listen, he played well his freshman and sophomore year, so we know he can play well. This isn't a chronic injury that has slowed him. It's not like, well, he has a back injury or a knee problem. He wasn't hurt. So, I get it. It's disappointing. I'm not saying this is a positive, but there's no reason to believe that he can't play at the high level that he played at before. So, right. I think that's one of the positives. All right, I mentioned it. We probably will have to have you back pretty soon, Seth. Let's get to our Final Four. I don't want to keep you. Are you rooting for the Minnesota Wild?
I am rather passively because I got a lot of family members. You know, my big sister Sarah loves the Wild, and so I'm rooting for them passively, but I'm not a big hockey guy.
Okay. It should be a little more aggressive when they're playing the former Minnesota North Stars, I would think. Come on, get on the stick here. All right. Does Nussmeier ever start a meaningful game in the NFL, anywhere in the NFL?
I think so. Yes, I think he's got some talent, and he ends up getting to play a backup role here sometime in the next couple of years, and maybe Mahomes has a toe thing or something.
Okay. Draft grade for the Chiefs overall is what?
Based on the guys I've watched so far, I'm at an A. The process isn't exactly one, but they always say draft good players, and I'm 3 players in film wise. And, man, like, I really like Delane's film. I really like Woods' film. And I think Thomas might be a psychopath, in the best way possible. Like, I think that guy might be nuts. And so I'm really liking the film I'm going through right now.
Okay. And finally, just right now, again, just checking the pulse, what's the Chiefs' record this year?
You know me. I'm always optimistic heading into the season. I think let's go with 13-4, and we're at least back in the AFC Championship.
13-4 and back to the AFC Championship. Seth, great stuff as always. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again down the road.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. Seth Kaiser, Chief in the North newsletter. Must read if you are a Chiefs fan. Check it out. He does a great job. We will take a break. Come back, wrap things up with the kicker. I forgot what it was. I've got something. I don't remember what it was, but I got something. Maybe it'll be good. We'll see.
But first, the La Feta Delicatessen, end of the hour answer. What Royals pitcher has allowed the most career home runs to the Athletics? The number is 20.
20? God, somebody had to be around for a while. I don't think Apier was easy to hit home runs off of. Gubiza?
Nope.
Sorry. I don't know.
Paul Splittorff.
Ah, okay.
20.
That makes sense.
Then the player who gave up the most in their career to the A's for any team, Frank Tanana, gave up 56 home runs.
Oh, wow.
To the A's.
Tanana could give him
He
up.
pitched a long time, though.
He did. He did
22
pitch a long
years.
time. And half of it after reinventing himself. He had an arm injury,
Yes.
and he was a smoke and mirrors guy after being a flamethrower early in his
Amazing career
career.
arc.
Listen, we'll leave you with this. The long-term funding for Live Golf, the Saudi-backed breakaway golf tour, has been in question for several weeks, ever since Saudi officials outlined a financial future that did not mention ongoing sports investment. Now, according to a new report in the Wall Street Journal, players will be notified Thursday, tomorrow, that funding is officially coming to an end. The Saudi Investment Fund, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, the PIF, which has poured billions into the tour over its first 4+ years of existence, will end its funding as of the end of the season. It would certainly all but end the Live Golf. It's small fields are highly paid players competing for massive tournament purses. I don't think anybody's going to be sticking around. The expectation is that this is over. I would assume soon after that, if there's no sports, that means like Ronaldo left for a Saudi team. Like seemingly all those things would be coming to an end.
Turn out the lights, the party's over.
What's the moral of the story here?
I have no idea. I thought you were.
I have a
That's usually one of
theory.
those rhetorical questions. And you have the answer. What's the moral of the story? It's
Well,
this.
I mean, I think, first of all, everyone's like, they have more. I'm like, I don't think this is going to work because I don't think people are going to watch it. They're like, they have so much money, they'll just keep buying people. Apparently not. I mean, apparently there's an end. When you overspend
give
well
away
beyond
money.
the market,
Yes.
eventually it will blow up on you. And the Live never got a foothold.
They didn't do it because they liked golf. They wanted to make money.
I mean, their regular tournaments just got no traction whatsoever. And so, remember when that first happened, there was this fear, like, well, wait do they start getting all the best NBA players? Which I'll put my hand up. Yeah, I was like, oh, wow.
Something to watch.
Are they just going to literally buy the best league by buying the best players from all over the world, or at least enough of them to go head to head? Maybe somebody else could do it, but they couldn't. They didn't.